You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2242 2242 Chapter 490 Bloodline Replacement 1 Ancient City of Xinghong. Su Yu landed in front of the stone statue in the back hall. He still turned his head to look outside, in the direction where Xia Longwu was. How foolish! Su Yu said silently. The hard work that he and the others had put in, fighting for a long time in the great Xia mansion, in fact, all had the intention of restraining the enemy for Xia Longwu to attain the Tao. However, Xia Longwu had yet to merge his three bodies into one, and had yet to attain the Tao. He was waiting. He was waiting for the others to attain the Tao. He was waiting for the invincible ones to surround and attack him. He was also restraining the other parties. Xia Longwu was very cold and domineering. However, Su Yu could sense that he was stalling for time for the others. If Xia Longwu had begun to attain the Tao when the great war of the human realm broke out and the great Han King and the others were setting up a trap, perhaps, there was still a high chance of success. He had been waiting all this time, trying to pin down the invincible parties. Up until now, almost all the other parties had quieted down. Everything was fine, except for him, it was over. The Xia family had set up this trap and faked the remains. In fact, they had originally intended to pin down the strong enemies for Xia Longwu. Wan Tianxing did not stop him from taking out the tombstone. He clearly knew the importance of the tombstone, but he still allowed Su Yu to take it out. Clearly, he also wanted to attract a few more invincible parties over to ease the pressure on Xia Longwu. In the end, Xia Longwu still did not prove his point at that moment. Su Yu did not know that Xia Longwu still had a backup plan. If he knew, he would have scolded him for being an idiot. At that moment, if Xia Longwu had summoned 9 cities, there was a high chance of success, but he did not do it. Some people would not say what they had done. For example, Wan Tianxing, for example, Xia Longwu. The 10,000 heavenly saints had massacred the mountains, seas, sun, and moon. 10,000 people cursed at him, but he did not say why he had massacred them. After all, not everyone in the human race knew, so they would definitely curse at him. Xia Longwu had helped the others to attain Tao and fight for an opportunity. He did not say anything, and perhaps some people felt that he just could not attain Tao so quickly. It was as if these people did not care about what others thought, and did not care about whether or not there were people who were grateful. He's finished. Xinghong had returned long ago, and when he saw Su Yu looking behind him, he said indifferently, "It's probably the first time in many years that 100 eternal warriors have surrounded him. Even if he has some preparations, even if he has reached an agreement with some of the masters of the sacred city, he still won't be able to succeed." Su Yu looked at the stone statue, lowered his head, bowed, and bowed. Xinghong looked at him silently, not saying a word. "Lord." Su Yu remembered what Wan Tianxing had said to him. He said, don't use the stone statue to help Xia Longwu. That won't do me any good. Su Yu knew. But he was still a member of the Great Xia mansion. He was born and raised in the Great Xia. Ever since he was young, the hero in his heart was Xia Longwu. His father was a soldier under Xia Longwu. Dragon Martial Guards, Xia Longwu, Dragon Martial Academy. Xia Longwu was a legend in the Great Xia mansion. He was the heavens. When Su Yu betrayed the Great Xia mansion at the age of 18 and escaped from the Great Xia mansion, he had never resented this mansion master. He was a legend who had fought for decades and killed until the heavens changed color. Because, this was faith. The faith of the Great Xia mansion, the faith of the millions of people in the Great Xia mansion. This was also the first mansion master who could replace the founder of the mansion. The Great Xia king of the Great Xia mansion was the heavens, and so was Xia Longwu. Some big manners only knew the mansion master, but not the current mansion master. And in the Great Xia Mansion, even if the Great Xia King did not return for 100 years, the Great Xia Mansion was still calm. There was still Xia Longwu in my mansion. Seeing him bow and bow, Xing Hong knew what he was thinking. He calmly said, "I, the guardian of the sacred city, will not participate in these disputes. Previously, I helped you kill the 3 Eternal Ones, which is already a big taboo. The guardian has an even more important task. If he makes a move again and causes the fear of all races, the sacred city is not indestructible." Suyu nodded. "I know that you are in a difficult situation, and I also know that you have already taken a risk for me. I am extremely grateful. I just have some things that I want to ask you. Can you do it? Speak. Can you lure out some undead monarchs?" Suyu said in a deep voice, "For example, the Star Moon monarchs that I have seen before are also invincible. If I can lure out a few of them, it will also increase the chances of Mansion Master Xia's survival. If these undead monarchs are killed, will there be more powerful half-sovereign monarchs descending?" Xing Hong looked at him without saying a word. This kid was quite ruthless. At this moment, the passageway shook. Xing Hong was almost pushed to the limit. In the passageway below, there was a Death Sovereign Lord. It was extremely cold. "Suyu, why don't you try to trap and kill me?" Awkward. Super awkward. Suyu was extremely awkward. He looked at Xing Hong and was a little stunned. "This Sovereign Lord, why was he here with you?" F***ck. Xing Hong did not say anything. Xingyue had always been here. When he left earlier, the sovereign of Xingyue had come. After that, she had been absorbed by Suyu. Since then, she had not left. Suyu's words were naturally heard by her. The sovereign of Xingyue was a little mad. She said coldly, "Suyu, what did you do? Why are you able to absorb the aura of death without limit?" Suyu could not see anyone, but he could hear the cold voice of the aura of death. He cursed in his heart. Soon, he smiled and said, "It's an exclusive life-saving method. Sir's aura of death is too strong. I have no choice but to find another way to restrain the aura of death." Bulsh *T. Star Moon Sovereign was furious. The aura of death was too strong. "You want to save your life?" Bulsh *T. Suyu was not in the mood to argue with this sovereign. He quickly said, "Sir Xing Hong, if I can move the ancient city to that place when Mansion Master Xia attains his Tao, can I let him enter the city and protect him if his life is in danger?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2243. 2243 Chapter 490 Bloodline Replacement 2. Xing Hong said indifferently, "The relocation of the ancient city can be done within the celestial battlefield. All that is needed is to withstand the backlash of the death aura. As for entering the city, the sacred city does not prevent anyone from entering the city. However, once one enters the city, the path of Tao will cease. The death aura will overflow and the path of Tao will absorb the power of the heavens. The death aura in the city will be so dense that it may backfire on him and cause him to absorb too much death aura, causing him to turn into a dead spirit." Suyu took a deep breath and said once more, "Then if Manor Head Xia enters the city and the 10,000 races invades the city by force?" The stone statue calmly said, "Within the rules, there is no need to fear the guards. Breaking through the city is a provocation. However, if you attack first, the guards won't care about you." Suyu understood. "If I attack first and am really killed, then I will kill. If the other party enters the city and attacks me, then the stone sculpture will help." Wan Tianqing's words rang in his mind once more. Don't use all of your life-saving trump cards. Don't waste the favor of the stone sculpture over and over again. Xing Hong had already expressed several times that he didn't want to participate in the battle of the heavens. Suyu sighed in his heart. Principal, I'm sorry. Let me do it again. Xia Longwu. He had been a hero since he was young, and his spiritual belief. Today, he was in danger of dying, but Suyu still couldn't let it go. Thank you, sir. Suyu thanked him and turned to leave. Seeing him leave, Xing Hong watched him leave and didn't say anything. In the underground passage, Sovereign Star Moon said coldly, "This guy, can you feel it? He's constantly devouring my aura of death, what is that?" Xing Hong said indifferently, "It might be the heavenly aperture." Impossible. Star Moon Lord was extremely surprised. He said in shock, "Heavenly aperture, how is that possible? Isn't this the legendary aperture?" Xing Hong couldn't be bothered with him. If you say it's impossible, then it's impossible. What's wrong with opening the heavenly aperture? Of course, he added, it might not be complete. I think he can only absorb it and not stop it. Rumor has it that the heavenly aperture is the strongest aperture in all living things. There were people who opened it in the ancient times. At the bottom of the tunnel, Star Moon Monarch was silent for a long time. Suddenly, she said, "There is a limit to how much the heavenly aperture can absorb. I don't believe that Ling Yun alone can absorb all of my monarch's aura of death." What a joke. The power that I recover every moment is also stronger than the power that you absorb. The power that you absorb is only comparable to that of the sun and moon. I'm invincible. At this moment it was as if there was a parasite on her body. The parasite of the sun and moon. Continuously absorbing her death energy was truly unbearable. The other city lords were resisting, not absorbing. The other city lords were forcefully inputting, but the city lords wanted nothing more than to reject the death energy while resisting. Suyu, on the other hand, did not reject anyone. It was also good that you had more. Even the sky aperture has its limits. Xing Yu said coldly. No matter how strong an aperture was, there was a limit. Fine, you want to play this game with me? Then I'll stuff you to death and stuff you to death. Xing Hong didn't say anything. This was their business. Suyu, this fellow, had opened his heavenly aperture for half a day. He was actually surprised as well. Of course, this fellow had already opened his heavenly aperture. He could even reverse the aura of death, so it wasn't strange for him to know something else. Limits, he had never opened his heavenly aperture, so how would he know what limits he had? He would have to wait and see. In the sea of stars. Xia Longwu was still brewing. Unrivaled among the 10,000 races couldn't hold it in any longer, and he shouted in a low voice, "He's stalling for time." Xia Longwu, is there still a need to stall for time at this point? Do you think there's any hope for the others to succeed in attaining Dao? Someone said faintly, send a few more people to kill those Dao cultivators. Xia Longwu, if you give up now, there's still a chance of survival, otherwise, we'll have to forcefully attack. We can't let him drag this on any longer. Xia Longwu looked at everyone, took a deep breath, and said, "What's the rush? The people are gone. If we're short, can you kill me? Be careful, you won't be able to kill me. I've successfully attained the Tao, so I'll kill all of you one by one." When he said this, he was very calm. But everyone felt a chill in their hearts. This fellow was really capable. With the invincible demon race, he couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted, "Force our way out." What were they waiting for? Did they have to wait for Xia Longwu to completely attain Dao before attacking? Actually, it wasn't that they didn't want to attack, but they were afraid that the humans would risk their lives. Especially the great Xia King and the others, they were all very powerful. At this moment, an incomparably powerful figure broke through the space and came over. His blood-red long hair fluttered in the wind, and the demonic chi of the person who came spread out in all directions. Many people's expressions changed. Blood Fire Demon King. Blood Fire. The master of the Blood Fire Demon race. The blood-fire demon race was the best at fighting and the best at fighting. This race was very powerful, especially at this moment. The one who came was not the other blood-fire demon king, but the blood-fire demon king. If the blood-fire demon race was independent, this person would be the emperor of this race. The blood-fire demon king with blood-red hair arrived and said calmly, "Qin Guang, Xia Wushan, one of you, come and spar with me." The great Xia king's eyes were cold and stern as he said coldly, "Blood-fire, you want to die? Then I'll grant your wish." Boom! The void was torn apart and the two of them disappeared in an instant. He had no choice but to act. The great Xia king actually didn't want to leave, but the blood-fire devil king was extremely powerful and was best at fighting. Other than him, the great Qin king, the great Zhou king, and the others could also deal with him. However, this was to protect his grandson and he didn't appear. Could it be that he was counting on these people to appear? The great Xia king had been lured away. Many people let out a sigh of relief. What they were most afraid of was the great Xia king risking his life. After all, Xia Longwu was his grandson. In the next moment, a godly king descended, and an immortal king descended. Thunder godly king. 9 heavens immortal king. Many people were moved. This was a forceful attack. As expected, these two experts descended. The great Qin king sighed and walked out, saying coldly, "Since the two of you are here, let's play together." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2244. 2244 Chapter 490 Bloodline Replacement 3. Boom! The void shattered, and the two experts didn't say much. They had come to resolve everyone's worries. Great Qin King, Great Xia King. Qin Spear, Xia Dao, this was the name of the battle. With the two of them here, even if everyone knew that they could kill them together, they were still afraid that they would kill them. At this moment, Qin Spear, Xia Dao, and the others had all left. In the periphery, the myriad race unrivaled experts suddenly heaved a sigh of relief. They had truly heaved a sigh of relief. With the two of them gone, everyone immediately turned covetous. And at this moment, another expert descended. Godly monarch Tianyi. Another godly monarch descended. He looked at the great Ming king and said indifferently, "Great Ming king, let's spar. Are you afraid of me?" The world spun as the two experts vanished. After a while, 3 powerful unrivaled experts descended. They were slightly weaker than the previous few. The person said faintly, "Great Zhou king, the human race should be satisfied. Your Zhou family has 2 people who have attained the Tao and 1 sect has for eternity. What are you getting involved in? Come over." Great Zhou king was extremely calm. He looked around and walked out. He disappeared into the void and the 3 experts also disappeared. A few extremely powerful invincible human experts disappeared one after another. This time, the others were instantly excited. These people were all existences that could kill invincible human experts. What everyone was afraid of was actually them. Now that they had left, the others did not need to say anything else. They shouted, "Cut the battlefield." Buzz. The void shook and was cut open. The invincible human experts gritted their teeth and charged into the dark void. They could not let tens to hundreds of invincible battles break out here. Otherwise, there was no possibility that Xia Longwu had attained the Tao. In the blink of an eye, the invincible humans in front of Xia Longwu had almost all disappeared. Only a few people were left, and there were more than 30 invincible humans at the periphery. Xia Longwu sighed. "Seniors, let's leave. If they did not leave now, they would be surrounded and killed." Tianzhu King and the others looked at him helplessly. There was no hope. Tianzhu King looked at them coldly. "Come, I'll show you the scenery of the void." In the blink of an eye, 7 or 8 unrivaled experts, along with a few human unrivaled experts, disappeared. Xiaolongwu. At this moment, those unrivaled experts all laughed. You, still want to struggle? Unrivaled experts appeared from all directions. There were more than 20 of them. They thought too highly of Xiaolongwu. The person who spoke laughed and punched out. Xiaolongwu was dead for sure. At this moment, the void rippled and the heaven and earth twisted. Many people's expressions changed slightly. In the next moment, one ancient city after another appeared. 9. Invincible said in shock and anger, the ancient cities also want to participate in the battle. The 36 ancient cities were all invincible in the ancient era. Once the ancient city joined the war, Xiaolongwu would almost certainly succeed in attaining Tao. At this moment, a person appeared on top of an ancient city and calmly said, the ancient city doesn't want to participate in the war, but, as Xiaolongwu's friends, we will participate in the war. In the blink of an eye, 9 city lords appeared in the sky above the ancient city. The Milky Way city lord's white clothes were as white as snow. He looked around with a smile and soon sighed, Brother Longwu, you want our lives. More than 20 unrivaled experts. They were playing with us. He didn't expect that there would be so many of them. This time, the unrivaled experts of the human race were still united. Almost all of them had made a move and lured away more than half of the unrivaled experts of the 10,000 races. But there were too many of them. We are only the ancient city lord, 9th level sun moon realm or quasi-unrivaled experts. Why did you bring dozens of unrivaled experts here? What are you fighting for? Are you courting death? The 9 city lords felt helpless. At this moment, the 9 ancient cities surrounded Xiaolongwu. The undefeatable warriors outside were all afraid. At this moment, a loud sound was heard from the void. The guards are also going to make a move. It was the demon emperor's voice. In the next moment, in the ancient city of Heaven Destruction said coldly, this is the personal grudge of the master of the sacred city. If we don't break the city in the rules, we won't care. The demon emperor was silent for a moment. He transmitted his voice, don't bother about the ancient city. If the master of the city tries to stop us, just kill him. Since the stone statue said so, the demon emperor didn't want to say anything more. Xiaolongwu didn't care about anything else and quickly began to verify his Tao. In the blink of an eye, more than half of the 3 bodies merged together. The invincible ones on the outside couldn't hold it in any longer. They were afraid of the stone statue, but they weren't afraid of the city masters. Who were these city masters? If they did not break through the city, the stone sculptures would not care. If the city lords wanted to fight against them, they would at most be able to pester them near the ancient city. They did not need to care about them at all. Hong. A demon king appeared in front of the heavenly river. With a punch, the void split open. The heavenly river cursed in his heart. Floating in the air above the ancient city, a dead spirit fused into his body. With a low roar, he swung his sword. With a loud bang, Tianhe was knocked back. The death chi in his body overflowed as he gritted his teeth. F***ck. They were still far from being able to defeat Invincible. They could still fight for a short period of time, but after a long period of time, they would definitely be finished. Even if they were not killed by Invincible, they would also be corroded to death by the death chi. In the center of the ancient city, 4 or 5 invincible people broke through the blockade and charged towards Xiaolongwu. This was a sure death situation. At this moment, another ancient city descended. Su Yu walked out and glanced at Xiaolongwu. He didn't make a move. If he did, he wouldn't be able to do anything to the invincible experts. Instead, he would be beaten to death. He looked at Xiaolongwu and ignored those invincible experts. He said in a deep voice, "If Mansion Master Xia isn't a match for them, you can enter the city and temporarily hide." Those people thought that he was going to participate in the battle. When they heard this, someone sneered. Temporarily hiding? If Xia Longwu really entered the city on his way to become a Dao master, he would be crippled. If they didn't kill Xia Longwu would also be devoured by the aura of death. Xia Longwu glanced at Su Yu and didn't say anything. Temporarily hiding? If he hid in the ancient city and turned into a dead spirit, then he wouldn't be Xia Longwu. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2245. 2245 Chapter 490 Bloodline Replacement 4. He did not say anything. It was good that Su Yu was here, but it was not too dangerous if he did not leave the city. At this moment, Xia Longwu's voice rang in Su Yu's ears, "Look, what is the real heaven-splitting blade? Learn it well." A long time ago, he had asked Lord Xia Ho to tell him that Su Yu could come and watch the day he attained Dao. Saber Chi soared into the sky. Buzz. Split open the sky. Xia Longwu slashed out with his saber, causing the stars to sway. The saber Chi tore through the sky and charged toward an invincible expert. Boom! A loud sound reverberated throughout the world. That invincible expert took a few steps back with a bang. A bloody scar appeared on his forehead, revealing a trace of blood. There was some shock in his eyes. The split-open sky saber has 9 transformations. Xia Longwu was incomparably calm. Today, I'll show you how powerful the real heaven-cleaving saber, the 9-form saber, is. He raised his long saber, and the saber chi turned golden. One saber turned into countless sabers, and in the blink of an eye, they combined into one saber once again, slashing toward another invincible man. That man used his sword, and with a slash, Hong Long. A loud sound rang out again. Suddenly, a few more invincible men appeared from all directions, charging toward him at the same time. Everyone was astonished. This fellow was truly powerful, much stronger than they had expected. 5th place on the Dao manifestation roll, this fellow wasn't any weaker than a true invincible expert. He was invincible in battle. 3rd transformation. Xia Longwu shouted coldly once more. His long saber revolved around him as he slashed out in all directions. 4th transformation. Killing intent shook the heavens, and the dense killing intent suffocated Su Yu within the city. Rumble. The explosions continued. At this moment, the sky and earth shook and multicolored light shone. This was only the beginning of the Dao attainment, not the completion of the Dao attainment. Those unrivaled experts also roared and punched, palms, sabers, swords. The loud sounds continued. In the blink of an eye, Xia Longwu slashed out 7 times. Each strike was stronger than the last. However, there were too many unrivaled experts. Puchi. A palm pierced through Xia Longwu's chest. There was an undefeatable exclamation, "Xia Longwu, unexpectedly, you're very strong. Did the great Xia Manor specially produce a monster? A quasi-undefeatable expert who specialized in fighting undefeatable opponents?" If a single undefeatable expert met Xia Longwu, it was hard to say who would die. As for Su Yu, at this moment, there was only the shadow of a blade in his eyes. He was very powerless. The stone sculpture was unwilling to attack. In fact, he was unable to do anything. Once again, he experienced a state of powerlessness. He felt as if he had returned to the past. He had returned to that day, the day when single divine ones surrounded and killed several teachers. He was powerless to do anything. He could only cry out in despair and beg for help. Today, he didn't. Because he knew that no matter how desperate he was, no one would help him no matter how much he cried out. On the outskirts, the 9 city lords were also beaten until they continuously vomited blood. They were very helpless and fell into the ancient city one after another. Very quickly, they charged out again. These ancient city lords also had life-saving methods. Once they entered the city, the invincible ones would not chase after them. However, they would go and kill Xiaolongu. These people had an agreement with Xiaolongu, so they could only borrow the ancient city to save their lives. Once they saw that these people wanted to leave, they could only charge out again and pester them. After a few times, their injuries were serious, and the aura of death was boiling. At this moment, Suyu took out his city lord token. He sent a message: the master of ancient city of Xinghong, Suyu, requests the masters of each city to descend and pester the invincible ones for a moment. I have 2 carriers, so I can't split them equally. After this, everyone will split 2 carriers equally. Other than him, there were also 25 other city masters besides the 9 city masters here. He sent a message, and after a while, 6 ancient cities appeared in the air. A big man floating in the air said with a smile, "Little brother, you have to keep your word. The things are ours, so we can only do our best. If there is a danger of death, we will retreat." Suyu said calmly, "Of course, the 2 carriers will be exchanged for your help. We can just pester them for a while. If there is a danger of death, everyone can leave by themselves." Haha, that's good. Meanwhile, in the inner area, Xiaolongu suddenly shouted, "Idiot!" He cursed Suyu. How could the carriers be wasted like this? He knew that there was no hope for him to attain the Tao today. Even if a few more city lords came, it would be useless. After all, these people were not invincible. It could only be said that if they were to fight against invincible for a short period of time, let alone 6, all of them would come. If all 35 city lords came, they would probably be able to delay for a while. However, once they were injured a few times, the death aura would bite back, and these people would run away. It was just a cooperation, not letting them die. Suyu did not say anything. Let me be willful one more time. 2 load-bearing objects for my peace of mind. I'm sorry, I can't help you, and I can't force the stone sculpture to help you. He actually wanted to teach Xiaolongu the method to reverse the death aura. However, Xiaolongu did not say whether he could learn it or not. If he did, would he be willing to enter the city and become a city lord? With the addition of 6 city lords, Xiaolongu's condition was slightly better. However, he was still entangled by the 5 unrivaled experts. He was only quasi-unrivaled. If these unrivaled experts weren't afraid of him starting a fight, they would have killed him long ago. The few of them were just trying to grind him. Xiaolongu's heaven-splitting blade was indeed powerful and incredibly powerful, but at this moment, it was still difficult for him to fight against 5 unrivaled experts. Don't joke around. It would be difficult for a half-emperor to fight against 5 unrivaled warriors at the same time. Xiaolongu was only fighting with his life, which made these people a little more fearful. Xiaolongu was using his full strength in every move, exhausting everything. As for the others, they were completely fine. The result was already destined. The result was destined. Beside the passageway, Lord Xiaoho mumbled for a while, stood up, and looked into the distance. He grumbled for a while, then rambled for a while. "Eldest nephew, you ran too far." After scolding Xiaolongu a few times, Lord Xiaoho grumbled again, "I ran into you, and there was nothing I could do." Forget it, forget it. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2246. 2246 Chapter 490 Bloodline Replacement 5. His blood essence burned bit by bit. In front of him, a long river of time and space opened up. Success or failure depended on now. Whether it could succeed or not depended on your luck. Your uncle and I could only help you this much. I hope you can succeed. He opened up the long river of time and space, and the river became wider and wider. Lord Xiaoho became thinner and weaker. His blood essence burned bit by bit. He wanted to turn back and look at the human realm, but unfortunately, he could not see the passage at all. Lord Xiaoho was cursing. Wait a little longer, wait a little longer. He let his eldest nephew's 3 bodies fuse more, and he silently felt it. He could already feel that his eldest nephew's aura was beginning to weaken. If he waited a little longer, he would be dead for sure. Lord Xiaoho did not stay at the passage anymore. Instead, he flew far away, away from Xiaolongwu. He was only quasi-invincible. He could do nothing. He had no way to participate in the war, no way to help Xiaolongwu. He did not even have the support of the ancient city. He could only rely on Xiaolongwu for everything. He did not know how much time he could buy for his eldest nephew. All he knew was that he wanted to try. Didn't the Xia family pay everything just to hope that he would succeed? I've been the scapegoat for him for so many years. If he dies, what am I going to do? He flew further and further away. Master Xiaoho's blood essence had been completely burned, and the river of time was opening wider and wider. Not far away, an invincible being who was chasing after Niu Baidao suddenly looked at him. He wanted to attain Dao. That invincible was a little suspicious. This fellow was also trying to attain Dao. It did not look like he was trying to attain Dao. On the contrary, he seemed to be extremely weak. Was he trying to commit suicide? On the other hand, the opening of the river of time and space wasn't weak at all. On the other hand, Niu Bendao, who was being pursued by him, was also cursing and swearing. Suddenly, he turned to look at the distant Xiaoho, and he was extremely surprised. Suddenly, he seemed to have thought of something, and he wanted to speak, but he hesitated for a moment. Xiaoho turned to look in that direction and grinned. You haven't achieved Dao, so don't misunderstand. I'll walk further away, and you can continue killing Niu Bendao. He's going to achieve Dao. Me. Niu Bendao was speechless. Was this even human? But, forget it. This fellow. The Xia family. Niu Bendao's emotions were also complicated. Forget it, forget it. I'll let you, this brat, have a taste of your mouth before you die. At this moment, Xiaolongwu's 3 bodies merged into one, and the multicolored light flourished. However, his aura was declining. He was like an outlaw, continuously brandishing his saber. One saber after another, his injuries continued to worsen. Those unrivaled experts acted as if they were watching a show, toying with him. One punch after another. Xiaolongwu roared continuously, but his injuries continued to worsen. The few ancient city lords were already preparing to retreat. They were helpless. Forget it, they were dead for sure. Give up. They could no longer count on this fellow. Suyu also watched helplessly. His blade aura was also completely transforming, but Suyu did not have the mood to pay attention to it. Xiaolongwu was going to die. Suyu thought to himself. At this moment, Xiaolongwu's expression suddenly changed and he shouted angrily, "Scram!" He wasn't shouting at anyone else, but at someone else. He was furious, and he was in extreme pain. Scram! Shao Xia, scram! I'm going to die. At this moment, the void trembled and a tiny time passage suddenly appeared on Xiaolongwu's body. Lord Xiaoho's voice sounded with a sobbing tone, I'm in so much pain. I'm going to die. Nephew. In my next life. Don't hit me anymore. I'm your uncle. We are blood relatives, be decisive, hurry up. Xiaolongwu roared crazily. A roar of despair. In the next moment, with a rumble, the time passage was torn apart and he quickly tunneled into it. At the same time, Lord Xia, who was thousands of kilometers away, bared his teeth and turned into an illusory figure, disappearing from where he was. In an instant, Xia Longwu appeared. And Lord Xia instantly appeared at the spot where Xia Longwu was previously. Bloodline reversal, transfiguration. Using the power of his bloodline, he reversed the positions of the two of them. In the distance, Xia Longwu roared and roared, instantly charging toward the invincible one near him. Xia Shower. F***ck your ancestor. Xia Longwu cried out with blood in his eyes. That was his own uncle. He had reversed the positions of the two of them. In order to buy him some time, it would take some time for him to kill his way over from such a far distance. In order to let him escape from the encirclement. He, my ancestor, is also your ancestor. Master Xia Ho suddenly appeared in front of Xia Longwu. He was very thin and weak, like a candle in the wind. Even if they were of the same bloodline, he was only quasi-invincible. Even if he and Xia Longwu were both quasi-invincible, he had burned almost all of his blood essence. If Xia Longwu was invincible, he would not be able to reverse it. He smiled. He was very handsome at this moment. One could vaguely see the shadow of his past self. Handsome and unrestrained. The expressions of those invincible opponents who were attacking Xia Longwu changed. Damn it! Boom! With a punch, Master Xia Ho's body exploded instantly. Master Xia Ho didn't care, his voice reverberated in the air, he laughed heartily. Are you angry? Are you angry? Come and hit me, my nephew, will succeed. Damn it, it just hurts a little, father, it hurts a little. He screamed miserably and lamented. It really hurt. Nephew, no one will take the blame for you anymore. You have to succeed. The distance is very far. But these invincible pursuers will be very quick. Your uncle is useless. Even if he spends his life, he can only fight for a little chance for you. I'm sorry. Boss, I see you. Your son. I'm taking good care of him, but he's not very obedient. In his trance, he heard someone calling him. He saw it, he saw that detestable old lady of the Wu family. She actually hit him so hard that he covered his head and scurried away. Didn't she just come to your house to propose marriage? Your Wu Yuehua also looks like that. I don't even like her. How dare you King beat me? He saw it. He saw General Zhao's dark face. He glared at him with a dark face. What was there to glare at? Your Zhao Mingyue is already an old lady. If I take a liking to her, it's because I think highly of you. He saw Chief Steward Hu. With a fake smile, he told him that Hu Ping's heart belonged to someone else. The Marquis should find another person. Find your sister. Why? Am I not handsome? Am I not strong? How is he, Lu Wenyan, stronger than me? Didn't I just propose to 3 families at once? Why did you all refuse? Who am I, the son of the great Xia King, Marquis Xia? I proposed, but you all actually refused. Lu Wenyan. F***ck your ancestors. With his last bit of resentment, Marquis Xia used all his strength and roared. You don't want it? Give it to me. I want it. I wasn't this fat before. In the distance, Xia Longwu went crazy. He slashed out with his long blade, 1 or 2 slashes, countless slashes, and blood and tears flowed out. His uncle was dead. He had calculated everything, but he didn't expect that his timid uncle would reverse time and exchange blood at this moment. I'll kill you. The invincible opponent was a little scared by his crazy demon. How could Xia Shao suddenly become Xia Longwu, or the crazy Xia Longwu? Even at this moment, Xia Longwu was still heavily injured. However, that sky-reaching saber light still made the invincible feel a chill in his heart. So powerful. Unity. Xia Longwu roared angrily. His three bodies became one as he slashed out with his saber. With a loud boom, the invincible could not help but curse in his heart. What does it have to do with me? F***ck, those who surround and kill you, over there, I'm just here to kill 100 oxen. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2247. 2247 Chapter 491 Suction 1. Xia Longwu attained Dao, and Xia Shower jumped out. Bloodline replacement. This was something that no one had thought of. No one knew that Lord Xia Ho could do this. Obviously, this was not a spur-of-the-moment idea. He had thought of it long ago. The 10,000 heavenly saints said that Yi Baishan's heavy-hearted bloodline started from Yi Batian. No, he deliberately forgot one person, himself. He, Xia Longwu, Lord Xia Ho, Lu Wenyan, Hong Tan. They were all multi-god characters from that generation and 2 generations. Xia Longwu was his student, and Lord Xia Ho was half a student of Yi Batian. At this moment, Lord Xia Ho's body exploded, and his sea of consciousness began to collapse. With the last bit of unwillingness and despair, he only hoped that his nephew would succeed. He cursed Lu Wenyan. And at this moment, in his daze, he seemed to see Lu Wenyan, this annoying fellow, this bastard. Die, and you won't give me a peaceful death. Junior brother. A sigh sounded in Lord Xiao's consciousness. Master didn't give you anything. I made the decision. His last piece of divine prose was given to you. At this moment, a sky-reaching river of time appeared. The 10,000 heavenly saints coughed up blood and walked out of the river of time. Looking into the distance, he looked at Xia Longwu and smiled. Let me be willful for once. You, after all, are my student. After today, there would be no heavenly saints, no Yi Batian, and no more divine texts. The last divine text Yi Batian left in this world exploded with a boom. This was the last divine text Yi Batian left behind by Lu Wenyan. He had already exploded before, and the last divine text left behind allowed him to be unrivaled in battle. It was also Yi Baishan's main divine text. At this moment, this divine prose exploded with a bang. The river of time appeared. Myriad Saint pulled Lu Wenyan out of the river of time. They had originally come to support Xia Longwu. They hadn't expected that at the critical moment, they would become Lord Xia. Myriad Saint pulled his sea of will and walked into the river of time. The river of time interfered, and it immediately began to tremble and destroy. The demon half-emperor had walked out of the river of time and taken Lad away. He was a half-emperor. But the 10,000 heavenly saints wasn't. But at this moment, the 10,000 heavenly saints walked out and kept coughing blood. Lu Wenyan, on the other hand, exploded the god's holy prose of Yi Ba in an instant and sent it flying in all directions, causing those unrivaled experts to pause for a moment. Lu Wenyan was also coughing blood. He smiled and said, Xia Longwu is about to succeed. Why are you killing us? Go kill Xia Longwu. At the last moment, these experts from the multi-divine literature department arrived. One Tianxing, who had turned into a devil, could not let go of his students. Lu Wenyan, who was left with a piece of Yi Ba's sovereign divine literature, could not let go of the taciturn Xia Longwu either. He owed Xia Longwu and the Xia family. If it were not for them, Xia Longwu would not have needed to set up a character that was unparalleled in slaughter. Hence, they came. One Tianxing warned Suyu not to come and save him. But he had come. Because this was his student, his disciple. Even though he knew that it would be difficult to leave if he came, he still came. But he did not expect that by a fluke, he would not save Xia Longwu, but this random marquis. There was no need for him to say anything about the peerless ones. More than a dozen people flew in that direction, breaking through the air. But to Wan Tianxing, Lu Wenyan, and Xia Xiar, they hated him to the core. They deserved to be killed, they deserved to be killed, they deserved to be killed. How divine. It was this line again. Lord Xia, Xia Longwu, Lu Wenyan, Wan Tianxing, and Su Yu. There weren't many people left in this line. There wasn't a single invincible one in this line. But now, this line had ruined their plans, ruined their plans. This line should be killed by the heavens. Wan Tianxing's river of time was broken by a few invincible ones, and his body began to crack. He didn't cultivate the past, nor did he cultivate the future. If he died, he would die. Wan Tianxing was calm and unperturbed. He told Su Yu not to be stupid and not to reveal his life-saving trump card. However, he revealed his river of time. The powerful river of time pierced through the heavens. Lu Wenyan also came and gave him his most precious last piece of Master's divine prose. From now on, everything that Yi Badian left in this world was gone. There was no Yi Badian anymore. The grudges and grudges from 50 years ago, the scheming and scheming from 50 years ago, and everything that had been entwined from 50 years ago until now, should all be over. It all started with Yi Badian, and finally, Yi Badian was fine. At this moment, the two multi-god literature department experts gave their final gifts, the river of time and that god text. Originally, this was given to Xia Longwu. Lu Wenyan grabbed onto Lord Xia's sea of consciousness and sighed, "Why is it that you, Fatty, aren't worth it?" He sighed and sighed. "Damn Fatty, I didn't expect this. He still has a trick up his sleeve." The river of time was cut off, and the path of retreat was cut off. Wan Tianxing was calm and composed, but there was one person on the periphery who was hysterical. "You lied to me, you lied to me. You said that we were going to walk through thousands of mountains and rivers together, you lied to me." Wan Tianxing looked into the distance and smiled. Lan Tian was getting crazier and crazier. He and Lu Wenyan had only come here to seek death. They had saved Lord Xiaoho, but they had only delayed him for an instant and risked their lives. If Su Yu had done that, Wan Tianxing would have scolded him. "Idiot. But that's how humans are. I can teach you a lesson, I can tell you, you have to listen to me, but I can do it. It's very contradictory. The 10,000 heavenly saints once taught many people," he said, "in the great battle of the heavens battlefield, this is the most taboo situation, your friends, your loved ones, when you die in battle, when you're surrounded, you have to retreat, you have to run." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2248. 2248 Chapter 491 Section 2. Save your useful body for revenge. Don't be a fool, crying and shouting, "Go up to die," that's retarded. He scolded a lot of people, called them idiots. Everyone knew they were going to die. "Go up, put one more head, why do you still go to die? Isn't it just your friend's death? Isn't it just your family's death? Revenge." He had taught students all his life, but in the end, he couldn't accept it. What was he doing here? Sending himself to his death. Wasn't he just a student? Xia Longwu had run away. The current Xiao Xia couldn't even be considered a student, so how could he make a move? Who cares about his death? But, he still made a move. The polytheistic literature department valued relationships. It had a huge flaw, a huge flaw. He knew, but he couldn't change it. Thus, he told polytheistic literature's hope, "Su Yu, don't do this. We've already been wrong all our lives. Don't be wrong again because everyone knows your flaws and will target you for this." But he had come. Wan Tianxing smiled and glanced at Lu Wenyan. Lu Wenyan was also very calm. Without Yi Badian's divine prose, he was only at the third level of the sun and moon. At this moment, his flesh and blood were being crushed by the invincible pressure. However, he firmly grabbed onto Lord Xiao's Sea of Consciousness sphere. 50 years of hibernation did not bring about anything. It did not seem worth dying, but it did not matter. He saw Su Yu below. Su Yu was also looking at them. The moment Lord Xiao appeared, Su Yu saw it. Lord Xiao's body exploded and his Sea of Consciousness was about to collapse. He saw it all. He was surprised. He was surprised that he saw the 10,000 heavenly saints and Lu Wenyan. Su Yu laughed. He laughed and cried. He really cried. Not for Lord Xiao, but for these two idiots. The things you taught me were useless no matter what. You said, don't throw your life away. Don't throw your arms around a cart. Don't throw your life away for no reason. Your father was killed, and you had to run. Is Xiao your father? If not, why did you attack? At this moment, an ancient city descended among them. Su Yu didn't expect the stone sculpture to attack. The stone sculpture had to care about the rules, but the rules. Su Yu was familiar with them. He roared angrily and instantly smashed a late-stage Sun-Moon City resident who had been converted the last time. The Sun-Moon of the Dark Clan, the son of the Nether River King. Your father is dead. Why should I keep you? Waiting for you to take revenge on me? The late-stage Sun-Moon was killed. In the blink of an eye, a person, no, a dead spirit, appeared from the ancient city. It was the Star Moon Sovereign. She looked at Su Yu with a cold gaze. Su Yu had killed a resident of the late-stage Sun Moon City. According to the rules, she, the dead spirit sovereign, had to show herself. A quasi-invincible dead spirit might appear to kill a resident of the ancient city, a dead spirit of the late-stage Sun Moon City, she would definitely be the one to come out. However, did this fellow think that he would help him block those invincible spirits? If you want to kill someone, you should be killed too. Enter the city. Su Yu shouted angrily. He knew that these two would definitely not enter the city normally. Entering the city. Su Yu would be in danger. The stone sculpture cared about the rules. The rules were that it was actually fine for an invincible spirit to enter the city. It was fine as long as he did not kill anyone. If they really killed, it would only be a death spirit of the corresponding realm appearing. Su Yu was somewhat special. It wasn't easy to kill him, but that didn't mean that he couldn't be killed. But now, that death spirit sovereign had appeared. According to the rules of the ancient city, they had to kill Su Yu. Myriad Heaven Sage sighed. What a fool. If they didn't enter the city, would he be able to stop the death spirit sovereign from killing Su Yu? If they entered the city, these invincible people would definitely enter the city this time. The stone sculptures wouldn't break the rules. Wan Tiansheng was bitter and foolish. The many divine runes were all such fools. They would be destroyed sooner or later. It would be strange if they weren't destroyed. A group of people were all fools. But there was always a group of fools in this world, wasn't there? If not for this, why would he be reluctant? The many divine runes deserved to be destroyed. How could such a faction not be destroyed? If he killed one of them, a group of people would be sending themselves to their deaths. It would all be in vain. Wan Tiansheng smiled bitterly. Lu Wenyan was also helpless. Wan Tiansheng dragged Lu Wenyan and swung his sword. His arm exploded and he instantly fell into the ancient city. The sovereign of the dead appeared. Xing Yu looked at the few of them coldly and looked at Su Yu. Did you really think that I wouldn't kill you? You broke the rules yourself. Previously, Su Yu killed people and spirits, but he didn't die. It wasn't that he couldn't be killed, but she felt that it might be better for Su Yu to turn into a dead spirit when he reached the sun and moon. Now, since Su Yu wanted to send himself to his death, she would fulfill his wish. Anyway, this fellow's current strength had reached the point where he could fight against the sun and moon. She would take this opportunity to kill him. To avoid trouble. Recently, she had been annoyed by Su Yu's death breath. He was a parasite. If she continued to suck him until it was too late, would she do anything else? There would be trouble in the world of the dead. At this moment, Xing Yue made her move. And in the void, those unrivaled experts all laughed. Xia Longwu had run away. They were very angry, but, buy one, get three free. Su Yu, Wan Tianxing, Lu Wenyan, along with Xia Shaoer. This lineage was hilarious. To be honest, was there a big difference between killing one Xia Longwu and killing one Wan Tianxing? No matter how powerful Xia Longwu was, he had never killed an unrivaled expert. Wan Tianxing had killed two of them. Su Yu was the master of the ancient city. Lu Wenyan was the descendant of Yi Batian, and he had Yi Baishan's divine prose. The combined weight of these people was more important than Xia Longwu. Now, they were all killed without any effort. Su Yu, the master of the ancient city, was courting death, and he had drawn out the invincible undead. These invincible did not enter the city. Instead, they looked at the stars and the moon, and slapped at them, toward a few crippled fellows. At this moment, the city lords at the periphery also shook their heads and retreated back to the ancient city. This Su Yu, this multi-divine language lineage, were all idiots. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2249. 2249 Chapter 491 Section 3. At this juncture, every life counts. Lining up to die. Wan Tianxing and Lu Wenyan also looked at Su Yu helplessly. You called us in, are you asking us to be slapped to death together so that we can go on our way together? Of course not. Star Moon is the sovereign, there's no way we can beat him. But, I know the rules. I know the rules. Enter the house. Star Moon would destroy the house, this Su Yu knew, so it didn't matter. At this moment, his Yuan aperture reversed, and his Yang aperture reversed, instantly dissolving countless amounts of death qi. In the blink of an eye, he once again reversed into a dead spirit, once again devouring countless amounts of death qi. They were all Star Moons. Star Moon was Su Yu's changer, so she had to maintain Su Yu's death qi and keep suppressing it. This was a two-way street. Su Yu reversed and neutralized the aura of death. In an instant, the power of the palm that she had slapped down weakened a little. Su Yu, on the other hand, let out an angry roar and reversed, and reversed again. Neutralized, and neutralized again. When the palm of the aura of death came down, Wan Tianxing's attack was actually shattered in an instant. At this moment, the world fell silent. Su Yu looked at Xing Yu, and Xing Yu looked at him as well. When a guy with the strength of the 8th level of the sun and moon reversed you 7 or 8 times in an instant and devoured your aura of death 7 or 8 times, coupled with the fact that he was devoured a few days ago, are you sure that you still have the strength to kill a powerhouse like the Wan Tianxing with all your strength? Even if he was heavily injured. Xing Yu felt as if she was about to die. She discovered an extremely serious problem, and it was extremely serious. Su Yu, the speed at which he reversed the death aura was much faster than she had imagined. Very fast. If Su Yu didn't die. Once she fought in the world of souls and was reversed dozens of times by this fellow, she would definitely die if Su Yu didn't die in the face of a powerful enemy. Xing Yu's eyes revealed a look of death. Su Yu was going to die. He had to die. He had become a huge threat. And at this moment, the ancient city was sealed. Those invincible souls were also stunned for a moment. They looked down, at Su Yu, and at Wan Tianxing's death qi palm that had pierced through the stars and moon. Was the invincible undead so weak? They couldn't believe it. How could it be? The invincible undead was definitely not weak. With a palm strike, the heavily injured Wan Tianxing would be either dead or crippled. But now, he didn't have much strength. He was easily pierced through by Wan Tianxing. Wan Tianxing was stunned. What was going on? The death aura passage existed between nothingness. It didn't really exist. They couldn't see it. They only saw Suyu continuously roaring. One moment, he became a living person, and the next moment, he became a dead person. After going back and forth 7 or 8 times, there was no more after. Suyu was overjoyed. It really worked. Yes, this was the rule. The star and moon changed me, and I was actually restricting her as well. Enter the house. Suyu growled in a low voice. He kept on reversing the situation. If it was just one person, if he reversed the situation, the star and moon would be able to kill him. But he wasn't alone. There was also a half-crippled Wan Tianxing. If Wan Tianxing was at his peak, he wouldn't have to be afraid of the star and moon. But even though he was half-crippled, he was still able to resist against a star and moon that Suyu was crazily depleting his death aura. Suyu laughed out loud. Indeed, it was possible. The death aura was being consumed, reversed, absorbed, consumed, and dissolved by him. Xingyu's gaze became colder and colder. She could feel that her strength was declining. Damn it! This bastard! She was furious. In the back hall of the city lord's residence, the stone sculpture was also stunned for a moment. He could still play like this. Was he trying to cripple Xingyu? At that moment, he was actually conflicted. The stars and moons were about to smash them to death. This was a rule that came from the ancient times. He should not have broken these rules. He was very hesitant. However, when Suyu actually played with the aura of death to the point that it bloomed, coupled with the 10,000 heavenly saints, he actually managed to destroy the stars and moons. Xinghong was also a little stunned. If the stars and moons were really going to be played to death, would there be any problems? Would it cause a disturbance in the ancient city? However, this was also the rule. He had to abide by the rules, and even the guards had to abide by the rules. So now, what should he do? Should he ignore it? The ancient city was sealed. This time, it wasn't Suyu who did it on purpose. It was Xingyue who came out and sealed the city automatically. This was also the rule. Outside, a group of invincible experts were also dumbfounded. They all frowned and glared at the enemy. The rules. The ancient city could not be broken. If it was broken, it would break the rules of the ancient city. Previously, if Suyu had left the city and made a move, it was only natural that they would kill Suyu. But what should they do now? Xinghong also looked at Suyu. After a long while, he finally understood Suyu's meaning. Yes, he followed the rules. He was currently dealing with Xingyu. All of this was within the rules. Once these people broke the city, Xinghong could choose not to make a move. However, a large number of invincible undead would appear to deal with them. Of course, at that time, Xinghong could also take action, which was also in accordance with the rules. He took the initiative to find trouble. The stone sculpture didn't want to help Suyu break this bottom line. But if it was an invincible siege, he didn't need to care about this. At that time, he could help Suyu or not, because an equal number of invincible undead would appear to deal with these invincible. The other city lords also looked over in shock. It was true. A sovereign of the undead had been crippled by Suyu. They didn't quite understand the logic behind it. They only saw that the sovereign of the undead was glaring at Suyu furiously. The aura of death in its eyes exploded, but it was blocked by Wan Tianxing. Wan Tianxing also looked at Suyu in surprise. F***ck. What was going on? Was the undead sovereign so weak? No, he understood a little. It was absorbed by Su Yu. This guy was crazily absorbing the aura of death from the stars and moon. Su Yu couldn't control anything at this time. Suck, 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 suck crazily. I reverse, reverse again, reverse again. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2250. 2250 Chapter 491 Suction 4. I want to stall Star Moon. I'll let you hit me. If you can't kill me in 3 days, you'll have to leave. In less than 3 days, perhaps. I'll be able to kill you first today. Of course, the prerequisite is that if Star Moon is killed, there won't be any more powerful undead. Forget it, I can't kill Star Moon. If I kill her, it'll be troublesome if other undead lords appear. I didn't establish a channel with other undead lords. He shouted, Mansion Master, don't kill her. Drag her out. Xingyue. 10,000 heavenly saints. Are you serious? A undead sovereign appeared and killed a few half-crippled fellows. Now, Su Yu was shouting, don't kill Xingyue, or it will be troublesome. The situation suddenly became strange. The invincible ones outside were suddenly at a loss. What should they do? Break the city by force? In the past, everyone would do that. They would just break the city from the outside and the undead wouldn't be able to come out. Those in the city would just wait to die. However, ever since Xing Hong came out, he had destroyed countless unrivaled warriors with one punch. Now, these unrivaled warriors were all afraid of him. What if they broke the city from the outside and lured that guy out? What if they lured out dozens of ancient unrivaled stone sculptures? There were more than 10 invincible figures here, and they were not enough to kill him. A portion of them had already gone to chase after Xiaolongu. Just as they were hesitating, a furious roar resounded in the distance. Second uncle, I'll let all the clans die with you. The multicolored light reflected off the battlefield. Zhou Polong attained Dao, but it was just the multicolored light. Zhou Patian, Qin Zhen, and the others all did the same. It was just that the multicolored light reflected for thousands of miles. This was a heaven and earth phenomenon, a witness to one's undefeatable attainment of Dao. But at this moment, Xiaolongu attained the Dao. The multicolored light reflected for thousands of miles, and even radiated for tens of thousands of miles. Not only that, clouds descended in the void, and a massive amount of heavenly yuan qi helped Xiaolongu cast his body. Countless amounts of sun-moon profound yellow liquid helped strengthen his acupuncture points. Not only that, at this moment, blood clouds descended. With a boom, the blood clouds covered thousands of miles, and the demon world shook once again. A demon king was killed by him. Xiaolongu went crazy. He was incomparably crazy. He crossed the river of time with his saber and forcefully cut off the other party's river of time. In the river of time, he killed the other party's 3 incarnations. Niu Baidao was dumbfounded. Crazy. This madman of the Xia family went crazy. He really wasn't human. He didn't care about his life anymore. He dared to enter the river of time to fight. Once he broke the river of time, it was easy to get lost in it, affecting the past and future, and torturing himself to death. Xiaolongu did not care about this at the moment. He was mad, and he regretted it. He did not think that his second uncle would do this. He thought that he was probably going to die this time. If he could delay it for a period of time, it would count as a period of time. Whether it was helping others or fulfilling his teacher's wish, in short, he wanted to do something. If he knew that his second uncle was doing this, he would not have agreed. He would not have delayed it until his second uncle came to the battlefield of the heavens. Xiaolongu roared and roared. At this moment, his river of time was spreading, becoming wider and wider. He flew towards those unrivaled beings who were flying towards him. He roared angrily that he had succeeded in attaining Tao. However, he was not happy. He was not excited at all. He wanted to kill these fellows. Even if he could not kill many of them, he wanted to kill one or two of them to pay tribute to my second uncle. Like a moth flying into a flame, he flew towards those unrivaled experts. Even though there were many people on the other side. At this moment, those unrivaled experts flying towards him were a little frightened. This killing embryo had succeeded in attaining Tao. Furthermore, from the looks of it, it seemed like he wouldn't rest until one of them died. Behind him, Niu Ben Dao was also speechless. Along the way, he was trying to attain Tao. My luck has finally turned. No one stopped me when I was trying to prove my Tao today. No, I was invincible. In the end, I was killed by the mad Xiaolongu. He saw Xiaolongu fly toward the fire like a moth to a flame. While he was trying to prove his Tao, he shouted, "Don't go. If you go, will you be able to live up to Xia Xiaoxi's life?" As he said that, he was stunned for a moment. Suddenly, he said in fear, "Come back." The phenomenon of Xia Xiaoxi's death didn't appear. Xiaolongu, who was red-eyed and had tears in his eyes as he was about to go kill the invincible, suddenly looked into the distance. The quasi-invincible had fallen, but there was also a phenomenon. The setting sun had fallen. Didn't it? Didn't it fall? After being stunned for a moment, Xiaolongu's expression changed. Without saying anything else, he turned around and ran. In front of him, more than 10 invincible had just been stunned by that stance. At this moment, all of them came back to their senses and chased after Xiaolongu. Kill him. This fellow had just attained the Tao and he had already killed an unrivaled expert. This was a god of killing. If he didn't die, he might very soon become the next great Xia emperor and the next great Qin emperor. Niu Baidao, who had just finished shouting, heaved a sigh of relief and his expression changed. Holy shit! The 10 or so unrivaled experts were all flying in this direction. Is my luck really bad? He cursed inwardly and turned his head to run. Damn it, Xiaolongu, don't run towards me. Fortunately, Xiaolongu didn't come to his side. Xiaolongu also saw that fellow trying to attain Tao, so he instantly changed directions to escape. However, there was still one unrivaled expert chasing after him that was heading in his direction. Niu Baidao cursed madly. I knew it. I knew my luck wasn't that good. As expected, what was supposed to come couldn't be avoided. Fortunately, Xiaolongu attained the Tao and he stayed by the side. Xiaolongu attained the Tao and the heavens descended with strange phenomena. Countless treasures and heavenly yuan qi descended and he absorbed quite a bit of it. Xiaolongu was so focused on killing people that he didn't even absorb much, it was too good for him. At this moment, he had been fighting for a long time in the human realm. He had honed himself for a period of time and settled down for 400 years. Today, he would see the results. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2251. 2251 Chapter 491 Section 5. A multicolored light also appeared on Niu Baidao's body. This was the beginning of his Tao verification. He was about to officially begin his Tao verification, and his 3 bodies had become one. As for him, he was also very puzzled. Was Xia Xiaoer not dead? Could it be that he had been captured by the 10,000 races and was preparing to threaten the Xia family? The distance was too far. Even if he was invincible, he couldn't see too clearly, so he didn't have the time to look. They fled, one on the left and one on the right. On the other side of the ancient city, everyone saw the strange phenomenon. They saw the gathering of the blood clouds and felt the invincible fall. Xiaolongu had killed an invincible. That unlucky invincible happened to be next to the crazy Xiaolongu. On Suyu's side, Suyu had also seen it, but he couldn't care less. He had to constantly reverse the death chi and devour it. Xingyue was so angry that she was about to go crazy. No. She was a grand sovereign of the undead, yet she was actually restricted by someone when dealing with a bunch of defeated soldiers. Suyu, this lunatic, how much death aura did he want to devour? Damn it! Xingyu cursed angrily. She struck out with her palm once again, and Wan Tianxing also struck out with his fist, breaking that palm strike. Wan Tianxing was also a little strange. I didn't use much strength. Did Suyu really suck the legs of this sovereign of the undead until they went soft? On the outside, the unrivaled experts were also anxious. F***ck. This death spirit sovereign was a piece of trash. At most, he had quasi-unrivaled strength. Even if he was slightly stronger than quasi-unrivaled, there was a limit to his strength. And the half-crippled 10,000 heavenly saints wasn't any weaker than quasi-unrivaled. What was going on? Those unrivaled experts quickly gathered in front of the ancient city. Someone sent a voice transmission, breaking through the city. This, damn it, Xia Long successfully attained the Tao. Do we have to watch as these fellows escape this calamity? They were furious. They thought that Suyu was dead for sure. As for Suyu, he had killed the residents of the Sun and Moon Kingdom and lured out the Star and Moon Kingdom. In fact, he wanted to use the power of the Star and Moon Kingdom to deal with those unrivaled experts. He wanted to make those unrivaled experts fear him so that they wouldn't dare to enter the city immediately. Otherwise, if a Sun and Moon undead spirit really appeared and the 10,000 heavenly saints entered the city, these people would definitely follow them the moment the city was sealed. However, when the Star and Moon appeared, these unrivaled experts felt that they were dead for sure. That was why they didn't enter the city at the moment the city was sealed. If they wanted to enter now, they could only break the city. Should we break the city? The group of unrivaled experts hesitated. The matter of Xing Hong leaving the city was right in front of their eyes. Lad died tragically, and so did the Underworld River King. These two died because of Xing Hong, because their 3 incarnations had been destroyed. Who would want their 3 incarnations to be destroyed? But now, these people were in the city, and they couldn't die. What should they do? They were extremely angry. Outside, there were close to 20 unrivaled experts. Could it be that they were just watching them play with a fake undead monarch? Unrivaled expert was extremely angry, and he cursed, "Trash. Are all undead monarchs such trash?" He was really angry. How could your death palm be like water when you beat up those half-crippled fellows? It would shatter with a single touch. In the city, Xingyu's eyes were boiling with anger. Trash. I'm trash. I was absorbed by a bastard, and I was able to suppress these people. I'm trash. She was furious. She was even more furious than those invincible. On one hand, she was furious that Suyu didn't do anything, and on the other hand, she was furious that these trash creatures, dozens of people, actually let people in. They didn't stop them, and now they were calling her trash. She was the undead sovereign. If she didn't want to kill Suyu, she could have just given up. You bastards, do you believe that I won't do it? Xingyue was very angry. The invincible ones on the outer perimeter were also extremely angry. Should they break the city or not? Someone sent a voice transmission. Break the city, it's just outside the city. We have so many people, each of us will attack with our full strength. After we finish, we'll leave. This time, we'll guard against the stone sculptures. Last time, everyone didn't expect it, but this time, it's different. If we're prepared this time, we'll attack with our full strength and defeat 7 to 8 undead sovereign lords. Let Suyu play with them. It'll be strange if you guys don't die. They won't believe that all the undead sovereign lords are fake goods. But, someone hesitated. Xing Hong had come out and everyone was running away. If the other party managed to stop one of them, wouldn't it be the end of them? As for the dozen or so people surrounding Xing Hong, of course, he's not the only one. There were 16 stone sculptures on the scene. Even Invincible was about to go crazy. Were they just going to watch? Did they have to be so aggrieved to deal with a few disabled non-invincible people? There were even experts who roared, "Please come out and kill Xiaolongwu. Kill Su Yu and the others. Where's the half-emperor?" If none of them came out, were they going to rely on us? On the stone sculpture side, everyone was really afraid. Half-emperors shouldn't be so afraid anymore, right? At this moment, Xing Hong's side was chatting with someone. "Xing Hong, they're attacking the city. Are you going to help?" "That's right, Xing Hong, if you help, our original bodies might not be able to get out. These city lords won't be able to stop us. Speaking of which, Xing Hong, you're a good little city lord. The undead sovereign can't restrain him. Can you lend it to us? Judging by the speed at which he's absorbing the aura of death, it shouldn't be a problem for him to absorb 3 to 5 cities worth of aura of death. Lend him to us for a while. We'll return it to you when we're done using it." Silence. At this moment, Tian Mie spoke up. "Su Yu has already said that he's going to be the city lord of Heaven Destruction City. He's considered half of my disciple, and I've passed down a cultivation technique to him." Tian Mie's eyes turned red. Damn it, I finally understood why Xing Hong was able to do as he pleased. This Su Yu really wasn't human. The speed at which he absorbed the aura of death was 100 times faster than an ordinary 9th level Sun Moon Lord. Trash Tian He. After fighting for a long time, it was all for naught. He looked at the other party and saw that he had easily made a sovereign of the dead spirit go crazy. He was so angry that he didn't even know if he could be considered a dead spirit anymore. As for Su Yu in the city, he naturally couldn't hear or see. He only remembered one word, suck. Suck dead Star Moon. As for Star Moon, the death chi that was sucked continuously fluctuated. After beating one Tianqing for a while, she glared at Su Yu, snorted angrily, and instantly disappeared in the ancient city. She wasn't going to be a joke anymore. A big joke. She was a death spirit sovereign, but her strength was greatly damaged by the undead that she had transformed into. If word got out, she would be a disgrace in the death spirit world. The ancient city fell silent. Su Yu was still sucking. He didn't even know that Xing Yu had left, so he didn't have the time to care. He continued sucking. Meanwhile, Wan Tiancheng and Lu Wenyan looked at each other, then at Su Yu, then at those invincible figures in the sky. Would they attack? It was a sure death situation. However, Su Yu had messed it up. He didn't even let the stone sculpture make a move, but he had created a sovereign of the dead and sucked it away. What was this? Was this still an extremely dangerous ancient city? Was this still a necromancer lord that made everyone change their color? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2252. 2252 Chapter 492 Crisis, Watch the Match 1. Along with Xia Long's success in attaining Dao, the myriad clans could be said to have suffered a great loss this time. But in reality, other than the demons suffering a great loss, it wasn't necessarily a complete loss. At the very least, some of the humans from the Heaven Hunting Pavilion had been found out, and the 2 ministers had been exposed. Niu Bai Dao, Zhu Tian Dao, and the others who had hidden themselves very deeply had also been exposed one by one. The demon race had suffered a great loss because the demon race had lost 3 invincible states this time. This time, 8 invincible states had died. The demon race had taken 3. Mo He and Lada had died, and the ones Xiaolongwu had killed were also from the demon race. 2 members of the celestial race had died, and 1 member of the celestial race, one member of the human race, and one member of the dark race. At this moment, Xia Longwu had succeeded in attaining the Tao. His greatest enemy had succeeded. It was extremely difficult to kill an invincible person who had attained the Tao. If he could not defeat him, how could he not escape? If he really could not, he could find a small world to hide in. The human race could use their full strength in a small world, but the 10,000 races could not. At this time, there was still a chance for the 10,000 races to regain their dignity. Kill the fellow from the multidivine literature department. A few fellows who had yet to reach the Tao. They killed 2 invincible 10,000 heavenly saints, Lu Wenyan who had advanced to the sun and moon realm, and Su Yu, the lord of the ancient city. If they killed these people, then this time, they would not lose anything. Even to the demon race, using 3 invincible people to exchange for these 3 people was actually not considered a loss. At this moment, along with the invincible shout, a soft sigh sounded. The river of time pierced through the heaven and earth, and an illusory figure walked out of the demon world. It was only an illusory figure, and not the original body. And at this moment, on the battlefield, a human figure stepped through the air, his face expressionless. Deep within his eyes, there was a hint of unwillingness. This human figure swiftly merged into the river of time, carrying a hint of helplessness. A moment later, a person appeared in front of the ancient city. Greetings to the Devil Emperor. That human figure's face was illusory, but upon closer inspection, it looked like Madonna. And in reality, this was Madwa Na. However, at this moment, the Devil Emperor's true body did not come. Instead, he possessed Madwa Na and came to the ancient city. Compared to possessing the body of a human, there were no restrictions on the heavenly battlefield. Madwa Na's aura had faintly reached the invincible realm. Madwa Na was expressionless as he looked at the ancient city, Su Yu, and Xing Hong. He calmly said, "Ancient sage Xing Hong, the battle of 10,000 races is chaotic due to the many divine inscriptions. Ancient sages suppress the dead spirits and have the ability to seize the heavens. As for Su Yu and the others, they have caused chaos in 10,000 worlds. They should be executed." The demon emperor had arrived. At this moment, he still appeared, even though it was not his true body. In the ancient city, Xing Hong was also very calm. He said slowly, "It has nothing to do with me. The sacred city only has rules." "Rules?" Madwa frowned slightly. "Rules? Ancient rules? In the ancient rules, the city lord can seal the city as he pleases? The ancient sage can leave the city as he pleases?" Xing Hong ignored him. The demon emperor said indifferently, "There are many eternal races. The sacred city is only set up for the dead souls. Why does ancient sage Xing Hong have to involve the sacred city for these people?" Xing Hong did not speak. The demon emperor said again, "If that's not the case, then today the 100 eternal races would like to consult the ancient sages." Xing Hong still did not speak. At this moment, in the other ancient cities, Tian Mie suddenly said coldly, "Demon half-emperor, you wish to challenge the sacred city? Challenge the garrison? Challenge?" The demon emperor chuckled. Ancient sage Tian Mie is too serious. The demon race does not have such intentions. However, ancient sage Xing Hong has already crossed the line. "Fine, since that's the case, then we shall not enter the city." Demon Emperor. There was unrivaled dissatisfaction. "Not entering the city? Then what are you here for? Are you here to watch the show?" In the next moment, a drop of blood appeared in Madwa's hand. The blood burned, and the river of time rippled, reaching the heavens and the earth. In an instant, the entire ancient city was filled with the aura of death. After a while, a furious roar suddenly came from the ancient city of Xinghong. "How dare you? Su Yu, bastard, why don't you stop?" It was Xingyue's furious roar. Su Yu felt the aura of death that he had absorbed and quickly retreated. Xinghong also said coldly, "How dare you lead the sovereign of the dead across the border?" At this moment, everyone understood. They understood. The demon emperor said indifferently, "This is also a rule, right? It doesn't violate the rules of the ancient sages, right? Since Su Yu killed the residents of the ancient city and the sovereign of the dead couldn't solve it, then let the other sovereign of the dead solve it." As soon as he said this, those who did not understand understood. The demon race had been preparing to bring a necromancer sovereign back to the demon world. Clearly, at this moment, a necromancer sovereign had arrived. He had killed his way into Xingyue's territory and was here to use the rules to kill Su Yu. Su Yu's expression changed. He quickly gave up on absorbing the aura of death. In fact, he was also worried that Xingyue and the other party would join forces and kill him. However, from Xingyu's furious roar, it seemed that she was very dissatisfied with the invasion of the foreign undead. This was because according to the rules, at this moment, only one undead sovereign was needed. There was no need for the two of them. If the other party came at this moment, it would mean that he had crossed the boundary and invaded. Xingyu was furious. She was already embarrassed enough. In the end, the demon race had led an undead sovereign across the boundary, making her even angrier. At this time, a loud voice resounded throughout the ancient city, "Xingyue, since you can't do it, there's nothing you can do. The dead spirits cannot be humiliated. I came to kill this person, what's wrong with that? Make way, otherwise, I'll kill you too." In the Death Spirit passage, an incomparably powerful Death Spirit sovereign appeared. Even more powerful than Xingyue. An ancient demon race that had recovered a bit of its memories. The demon emperor had been preparing to bring him back. At this moment, the demon emperor was summoning him. He already understood what had happened here. He had killed Su Yu, and he had killed many experts of the Divine Language Department. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2253. 2253 Chapter 492 Crisis, Watch the Match 2. In the city. Wan Tiansheng and the others' expressions changed. A powerful undead sovereign had crossed over. Su Yu could deal with Xingyu, but he couldn't deal with the other undead sovereign. If he encountered one, he would only have one word, death. The demon emperor didn't choose to clash with Xinghong and the others. Instead, within the rules, he created a disaster for Su Yu and the others. A new death spirit sovereign. Can you, Su Yu, continue to settle this? Flame demon, you want to invade this king's domain? Xingyu shouted angrily, it was a great humiliation. This time, there shouldn't be any other death spirit sovereign coming. This didn't conform to the rules, this was an invasion, this was a provocation. Trash, scram. Boom. The aura of death overflowed, and Xingyu had been absorbed by Su Yu for a few days. Now, even if Su Yu stopped absorbing, his strength had dropped a little. Moreover, he had been consumed by the 10,000 heavenly saints previously, so he wasn't as strong as the flame demon to begin with. Not long after, everyone heard Star Moon's indignant voice. Su Yu's gaze fluctuated. F***ck. I've absorbed Star Moon too much. It's over. Previously, Star Moon was still an enemy, but now, he was the protector of the demon race's undead sovereign. Once that undead sovereign really came out, they would all be finished. Even hiding in the ancient house was useless. The other party can open it. Moreover, when he opens it, it's in accordance with the rules of the ancient city. The rules are that the undead can open the ancient house. As the city lord, Su Yu naturally knew this. Lu Wenyan and Wan Tiansheng, who thought they had escaped a calamity, looked at Su Yu. Can you still continue to suck? Suck my A**s. Su Yu's gaze fluctuated. I'm in big trouble. Once Star Moon loses and makes way for me, I'll be in big trouble. Lu Wenyan, Wan Tiansheng, and even Lord Xia, who had turned into a ball, were all in the city. Once they were killed by the sovereign, they would all be finished. The Devil Emperor didn't even come in person, but he had already created a huge problem for Su Yu. Outside the city, the Invincible Ones were also overjoyed. The Devil Emperor was the Devil Emperor, and he had easily forced these people into a desperate situation. As for the Devil Emperor, or rather, a look of struggle appeared in Maudwa's eyes. The longer the Devil Emperor possessed him, the more severe his transformation would be. Of course, the more the Devil Emperor possessed him, the stronger his body would become. At this rate, he would soon be able to step into the mountain and sea realm. However, this was not the result he wanted. The more severe the transformation, the more trouble he would be in. In the future, when the Devil Emperor possessed him, his self-awareness might even be sealed. This was not a good thing. Today, he had not participated in the previous battle. He thought that it could be avoided, but in the end, the Demon Emperor still appeared. Maudwa looked at Su Yu and sighed in his heart. He actually hoped that Su Yu could solve the problem in front of him. Of course, he did not reveal some of his deeper thoughts. If he could draw out the ancient stone sculpture and directly attack the Demon Emperor, cutting off the river of time, that would be even better. At this moment, Su Yu did not have the mood to care about Maudwa anymore. He was very nervous. What should he do? An undead sovereign was about to descend. He looked at the 10,000 heavenly saints, who shook his head and stopped looking. He was seriously injured. Today, he had gone on consecutive battles, and he really could not take it anymore. Now that there was a quasi-invincible one, he could still barely fight for a while. If there was an invincible undead, he had to accept his fate. Lu Wenyan smiled and said, "Forget it, it's pretty good. At this point, I should be satisfied, but it's not worth it, to die together with this damn fatty." He tossed the ball and sighed. "This damn fatty is almost dead, and he still scolds me. I heard it all. Back then, he went against me. After so many years, he hasn't changed." Fortunately, Xia Longwu had succeeded in attaining the Tao. Lu Wenyan laughed. This was good. He had repaid a lot of what he owed Xia Longwu. Although the main credit was actually this damn fatty's, didn't I save this fatty? As for being beaten to death afterwards, that was something that couldn't be helped. Su Yu said sullenly, "Teacher, you're too passive." How could he be so passive? To survive in the face of death was the true genius, the true monster. His teacher was not a monster at all. How could he be called the #1 expert in multiple divine inscriptions just like that? Forget it. Sovereign of the dead spirit. Su Yu kept recalling some of the city lord's knowledge that he had inherited. Gritting his teeth, he quickly flew toward the city lord's residence. He had a few things to confirm. Soon, he arrived at the city lord's residence. He could already hear the furious roars from the passageway. Xing Yu was probably furious and was currently engaged in a fierce battle with the other party. Su Yu silently expressed his gratitude. Next time, I will definitely suck you less. I'm sorry. This time, I sucked too much. No wonder you were so miserable. You were beaten pitifully and kept roaring. Xing Hong looked at Su Yu, opened his eyes, and said indifferently, "You. Sigh. You really know how to stir up trouble. You solved Xing Yu's problem, but next, you will continue sucking." Su Yu hurriedly asked, "My lord, where did this dead soul come from? Which city's territory is it from?" "Yunshao." Xing Hong replied, and Su Yu understood. He knew about the ancient cloud city and had been there before. In fact, this time, the ancient cloud city was also nearby. The city lord of the ancient cloud city was a female. It seemed to be a member of the viridescent fox clan. Su Yu quickly took out the City Lord token and transmitted his voice, "Is City Lord Viridescent Fox here? I'm here to invade the dead souls, and I'm from Cloud Sky Ancient City. Are there any late-stage sun and moon residents in the ancient city? Can City Lord Viridescent Fox kill one of them and force him to go back?" In the distance, City Lord Viridescent Fox of Cloud Sky Ancient City almost cursed his mother. CKU. Do you think I'm as crazy as you? I killed a resident in the later stages of the sun and moon, and then I waited to be killed by the undead lord. You're tuning into the Han Lee's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2254. 2254 Chapter 492 Crisis, Watch the Match 3. I'm not you, I can restrain the other party. Go to hell. Xia Longwu, that bastard, it was fine if he didn't fulfill his promise. At least he had verified his Tao and there was still hope for him to fulfill it. Now, this little bastard Su Yu wanted her to die. Su Yu quickly said, he might not necessarily die. After killing the other party and drawing out this undead, he has to appear. He has to return. This is the rule. As long as the City Lord leaves the ancient city, he can't do anything to the City Lord. City Lord Su, you must be joking. Green Fox directly replied, leave the city. Outside the city, there are dozens of invincible existences. City Lord can make the ancient city return to its original place and go to the Sea of Desire Plains. These people won't chase after it. What if they chase after it? City Lord Green Fox couldn't be bothered with him. Go to hell. Su Yu cursed in his heart. He quickly said to Xing Hong, Lord, can you tell Lord Yunxiao that Green Fox might want to leave her identity as the City Lord? I'm willing to take over the position of the City Lord of Ancient Cloud City. With me around, Lord Yunxiao will also have some freedom. As for City Lord Green Fox, if she wants to leave her identity as the City Lord of Ancient City, I can help her. Otherwise, I don't think it will be that easy to leave, right? Xing Hong looked at him strangely. This was in line with the rules, so he did not say anything. Very soon, he transmitted his voice, Yunxiao, Su Yu is willing to take over from Green Fox and take over Yunxiao Ancient City. The price is that Green Fox killed a resident of the later stage of the Sun-Moon realm and took that guy away. The next moment, someone was dissatisfied and said angrily, why don't you take over the position of Tianhe? Look for Su Yu yourself. Xing Hong could not be bothered with him. The flame demon was not on your side. Su Yu was there to solve the problem, not to create trouble for himself. Why would he take over the heavenly destruction ancient city? The cloud stone statue seemed to be deep in thought for a moment before it transmitted its voice. Can he really withstand it? Xing Hong said indifferently, Xing Yue was almost sucked to death. It was not like you did not see it. Don't worry, this fellow can do it. Then. Yes. Yun Xiao replied and quickly added, the appearance of the Balrog is only controlled by the rules. Once Green Fox leaves, he can still leave and return to your side. Just like how Xing Yu could not kill Su Yu and chose to give up a little, if the Balrog could not kill Green Fox, it could also choose to give up. At that time, he would be able to return again. Could it be that Green Fox had returned and killed the residents of the later stage of the Sun and Moon realm again? Where did so many people from the later stage of the Sun and Moon realm come from? Even now, it was not easy to kill them. Some of the residents of the ancient city were friends of Green Fox. Of course, there were also enemies who did not dare to kill them on normal days. Xing Hong relayed these words to Su Yu. Su Yu pondered for a moment and quickly said, the other party has crossed over. Can he do as he pleases? That's not the case. Xing Hong explained, he was lured here by the half-emperor of the demon race. Otherwise, even if he came, he wouldn't have come so quickly. The rules are limited. When there's a crisis here, he can arrive instantly. If there's no crisis, he can only cross over the dead soul realm slowly. I think it will take a lot of time, but the half-emperor of the demon race is outside. He can always be lured away. Su Yu cursed in his heart. The demons were waiting. This half-emperor was the most troublesome one. He was also the one who led Lad away last time. Star Moon Sovereign can't defeat him. Yes. Xing Hong said indifferently, the death aura that you've absorbed for several days is already weaker than the other party. Now, of course, he can't defeat you. Su Yu wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Just now, he thought that the more he absorbed, the better. Now, he couldn't wait to return all the death aura that he had absorbed. However, it was all absorbed by his yang orifices, so what was there to return? As expected, one could not be too greedy. If one sucked too much, one would not be greedy enough. Now that he had sucked the stars and moon until they were crippled, how could he compete with the flame demon? Su Yu quickly thought of something. How should he solve the problem of the flame demon? As for the problems outside, they were no longer problems. They had nothing to do with him. How about the Azure Fox City Lord continued to kill people and make him return? Or how about making the Demon Emperor unable to pull him back? Su Yu asked, doesn't the Demon Emperor need to pay a price to lead you? Yes, but he thinks it's worth it to kill you. He can afford to pay that price too. Xing Hong Duo directly told Su Yu that it was worth it to pay a price to kill him. Su Yu quickly said again, I think his original body did not come. Maudwa was possessed by him. Sir, do you think there's a way to deal with him? Boom. Below, the battle seemed to be even more intense. Xing Yu's roar sounded a little weak. It seemed like the flame demon was about to arrive. Su Yu could not help but ask, Sir, the foreign undead spirits have crossed over to kill your city lord. Is this also in line with the rules? He was speechless. Xing Hong was speechless. After a long while, he replied, it's in line. Since Xing Yu can't deal with you, then let's change to someone who can. Then, if the Star Moon Sovereign comes out, won't he be unable to come up? Yes. Then let the Star Moon Sovereign come out again. Xing Hong only wanted to say, what are you thinking about? The battle between Star Moon and the Flame Demon was not to protect you. Instead, they were unwilling to let an external sovereign invade their territory. Once they were defeated, according to the rules of the Dead Soul world, the Flame Demon would naturally be able to come out. As for pulling Xingyue out to block the Flame Demon, Su Yu was dreaming. Xingyue was not your granddaughter. Whatever you say goes. Su Yu was anxious. Then I'll force Xingyue out. If she doesn't come out, I'll suck her out. If she comes out, we can live together peacefully. Being invincible has its dignity. Xing Hong said indifferently, with your thoughts, she would rather die in the hands of the flame demon than be coerced by you. Su Yu, stop thinking about these useless things. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2255. 2255 Chapter 492 Crisis, Watch the Match 4. What are you thinking about? These undead lords had already died once. Now, dignity and face were very important. If you still threatened her, even if she died in battle, she would not come out and block the passage for Su Yu. Su Yu cursed in his heart. What face did he want? He was desperate for face. Yes, even if he died, he still wanted face. No wonder he was undead. Troublesome. Forget it for now. Let's let City Lord Green Fox lure that fellow away first. Su Yu quickly sent a voice transmission to City Lord Green Fox. City Lord Green Fox, you can move the ancient city further away and begin the operation. Lord Yunxiao has agreed. I will help City Lord in the future to think of a way to temporarily step down from the position of City Lord and reduce the corrosion of the death aura. Green Fox had already received the message from Yinxiao's stone sculpture. She was somewhat helpless. She could be the City Lord. Others could directly contact your backer. Compared to Suyu, they were very embarrassed. The other city lords might not even have a single word to say to the stone sculpture in their entire lives. However, Suyu was fine. He could not contact her and directly contacted Yunxiao. Helpless, Azure Fox thought for a moment and still chose to agree. Moving the ancient city first was dangerous here. Killing an enemy and luring the flame demon back was another matter. Leaving the city to escape, the flame demon would at most stay for 3 days. Moreover, the flame demon was more willing to kill Suyu. Soon, the ancient cloud city disappeared from where it was. Not long after, a meteor crashed in the distance. A moment later, the rumbling in the underground tunnel disappeared and the flame demon's furious roar could be heard. Ha! Outside the ancient city, the demon emperor was slightly surprised and said indifferently, I didn't expect that you would have such a skill. Suyu was really capable. He actually contacted Cloud Sky Ancient City and forced the flame demon away. Of course, he could still receive it again. Just as he wanted to receive it again, in his mind, Madhwa suddenly said, Your Majesty, if I receive this death spirit sovereign again, I'm afraid my body won't be able to hold on. No worries, just advance to the mountain and sea realm. The demon emperor said calmly. You're the one Ling Yun, just advance to the mountain and sea realm. Madhwa Na was silent. Advance to the mountain and sea realm? Would it be more suitable for you to descend at any time? For a moment, Madhwa Na didn't say anything, but the demon emperor said indifferently, after advancing to the mountain and sea realm, you're the true #1 genius. Otherwise, the current you wouldn't be as good as Suyu, or even better than others. Madhwa Na was still silent. I want to advance, but not now. Right now, you are still in my body. If I advance, I will only develop in a direction that suits you better. No way. The demon emperor might not need his body. The demon emperor had nurtured many seeds of his body. For countless years, the demon emperor had not invaded the bodies of others. As long as the demon emperor 3 did not fall, he would not look for them. But, there were still hidden dangers. If something really happened to the demon emperor one day, he would become a puppet that would be stripped of everything at any time. Madhwa Na, are you unwilling? The demon emperor's voice sounded. Madhwa Na said in a deep voice, Madhwa's physical body has not been completely polished. It is not a good thing to advance to the mountain and sea realm now. Madhwa Na, nothing is perfect. Moreover, if your physical body does not advance, I will not be able to bring the flame demon over. Do you want Suyu and the others to live? Demon Emperor, you can send a 3-generation avatar. Sigh, I want to too, but once something happens to my 3-generation avatar, it will be a disaster for the demon race. The Celestials, and humans will not let go of this opportunity. So, the Celestial Emperor, and I will not leave the world unless we have no other choice. Do you understand? Understood. As Madhwa said this, he was silent for a moment. Then I will advance. I will help you. It will be faster. No, I want to try it myself. Madhwa insisted. I want to try it myself. Seeing that he insisted, the Demon Emperor was also silent for a moment. He quickly said, okay, but time is limited. If you can't advance before nightfall, I will help you advance. At this moment, the sky was turning dark. Madhwa did not speak anymore and began to prepare for a breakthrough. He did not want to. However, he had no choice. He could only delay for a moment. At this moment, he wished that Suyu could solve this problem before nightfall. Suyu had become his hope at this moment. Suyu had to solve this problem before nightfall. Otherwise, he would have no choice but to advance. At this moment, Suyu had temporarily resolved this crisis. However, he was a little worried. The other party would be brought here again. Trouble. He flew out of the city lord's manor once more, and Wan Tianxing and Lu Wenyan arrived as well. Wan Tianxing glanced outside. The other party was brought here, he said. We need some medium to bring him here again. It's probably going to be a little troublesome. This Modwa Na is probably about to break through the mountain and sea realm, but the demon emperor didn't seem to interfere. Perhaps Modwa Na is unwilling and wants to break through on his own. This will buy us some time. The myriad heaven saint had very sharp eyes. He had experience and foresight, and with a single look, he could roughly guess what was going on. Modwa Na should have bought him some time. Suyu nodded and understood. He quickly recounted what had happened, and the myriad heaven saint frowned. In that case, we don't have much time. The war won't end so quickly. As for the ancient city system, I know a bit about it. At least 3 days, 3 days of accountability. After 3 days, the other party won't have the right to come back. Suyu was speechless. Do you know everything? An elementary scholar doesn't go out, but you know everything about the world. Alright, perhaps this person has nothing to do but walk around the river of time and see a lot of things. In the past, Suyu was the one who used his brain to do everything. This time, there was no need. Wan Tianxing looked around and said, Madonna, I think he can at most buy us 2 to 3 hours. It's almost impossible for him to rely on me to recover in such a short period of time. It's even more impossible for him to expect other people to support him. There's no need for that either. The others haven't finished their Dao cultivation yet, so they won't stop fighting so soon. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2256. 2256 Chapter 492 Crisis, Watching the Match 5. There are only 2 things we can do now. First, Xingyue, come out and block that person from coming out. Second, the demon emperor will retreat. Xingyue would not come out. Suyu suspected that she had been beaten until she shut herself up. Even after the flame demon had left, Xingyue still did not make a single move. As for the demon emperor retreating, it would be very difficult. Lu Wenyan interjected, perhaps we can let an invincible person attack Cloud Sky City. Of course, we have to prevent the stone sculptures from taking action. This was also a method. However, the invincible human race was being pursued. Who would attack the city? Would they be courting death? As for the stone sculptures, they could talk about it. It would not be a big problem if they did not intentionally destroy the ancient city. However, who could they find? All 3 methods felt very difficult. Wan Tianxing hesitated for a moment before saying, if it really doesn't work, let Lan Tian go. He is very powerful. If he goes to destroy and kill, he should be able to lure the other party over. Suyu frowned and said, then he is dead for sure. Green Fox can forcefully break through the city and leave. If they cannot seal Green Fox, they can seal Blue Sky. If Blue Sky goes, he will definitely die. At least we can let the demon emperor guide him once more. Wan Tianxing said in a low voice. If he was alone, he wouldn't let Blue Sky go, but now Suyu was here. He still hoped that Suyu could survive. This guy insisted on getting involved this time, and now he was in big trouble. Just as they were thinking of a way, thinking of the last moment, when there really was no other way. Wan Tianxing was already prepared to let Blue Sky go. Blue Sky would go. Blue Sky was too lonely. In this world, he might have felt that the 10,000 heavenly saints were his fellow Taoists. Therefore, if the 10,000 heavenly saints wanted him to go, there was a high chance that he would go. using Blue Sky's life in exchange for the Demon Emperor's guidance once more. This, however, Suyu was not too willing. In the distance, in a distant place, the multicolored light seemed to be reflecting once again. It was as if someone was about to succeed in the Tao. Suyu did not know who it was, and he could not be bothered to care about it. The invincible ones outside the city were also too lazy to care about it at this moment. They wanted to see the few people in the city die. To be honest, the few people in the city had died, and their achievements were even greater than killing an invincible expert of the human race. If the 4 people in the city, including Lord Xiaoho, killed them, Xia Longwu would probably go crazy. Perhaps he would come and seek his own death. The multi-divine literature department would also be completely destroyed. This place was no less important than the place where they had chased Xia Longwu previously. The appearance of the Demon Emperor had caused the few of them to fall into danger and despair. At this moment, Xing Hong took a look at them and took in their words, their actions, and everything about them. After a long while, he suddenly said, "If you want to get out of trouble and get out of danger, there might be a chance." Suyu was overjoyed. The stone sculpture was going to make a move. Xing Hong had no intention of making a move. He transmitted his voice, "You guys can think of a way to contact that little hairy ball's parents. They are also in the heavenly battlefield, but they might not know about this place. If you let them come here, the Demon Emperor might be careless. He opened the time passage, and it is very likely that they will follow the clues and eat his main body." Those 2 were blocking the Immortal Emperor. However, the Immortal Emperor might have sensed the danger or felt that it was not worth going out, so he did not make any movements. But the Demon Emperor could not hold back. He appeared. His original body did not appear, but the time passage opened, and a wisp of willpower attached itself to Madwa's body. The Demon Emperor's willpower should also be fragrant. Once those 2 followed the clues and found the nest. The Demon Emperor might also be eaten. As soon as these words were said, Suyu's eyes instantly lit up. Strangle the ball. The little hairy ball was tired and continued licking. Xing Hong seemed to know what he was thinking and quickly said, "Let the hairy ball think about it and ask for help. Don't keep thinking about getting rid of it. Getting rid of it is a method of mutual destruction." The big hairy ball really came. If you killed its little ball, you would be the first to die. Why did Suyu always want to die together? Suyu was surprised. Would it be useful for hairy ball to think for itself? He did not know that big hairy ball had actually been here a few times. He thought that big hairy ball did not know that the only way to contact the other party was to kill the ball. But now, what did Xing Hong mean? Don't worry about it. Let this little guy call out from the bottom of his heart. The other party is a half-emperor, an ancient half-emperor. He can feel the call of his bloodline. Suyu's eyes lit up. Can it be done? In the next moment, he felt a little helpless. This is really happening. I have to strangle the ball every day, won't it be eaten by the big hairy ball? Also, the golden atlas in my mind is something that even the little hairy ball can smell. Where is the big hairy ball? Won't it eat me too? He glanced at Wan Tianxing and Lu Wenyan. Very quickly, he said, "Teacher, find an ancient room for you and the principal to hide in. I have a way to solve this problem." The 2 of them looked at him. Suyu smiled and said, "Really, I have a way. The 2 of you, this is my territory. The principal doesn't need to send Lan Tian there anymore. There's no need to send him to his death. I can solve this problem very quickly." The next moment, he knocked on Hairy Ball. "Quick, call for help. Tell him that the Demon Emperor wants to kill you. Hurry up." "I'm thinking, hurry up." Little Hairy Ball muttered. Think. Big Bro wouldn't come at all. Big Bro must be sleeping." At the same time, at the entrance of the immortal world, Big Hairy Ball yawned. The heavenly ancient was so patient. If he didn't come out, he wanted to sleep. He didn't have the patience of a cue ball. He wanted to go back and sleep. If it didn't work, he could just go back. As he was thinking, bubbles floated around him. Duh, the demon emperor wants to eat me. Duh, the demon emperor is outside the ancient city of Xinghong. Wah, I'm going to be eaten. Duh, save me. The cue ball also looked at him. Although he had left the god-devouring realm for more than 300 years, this one didn't seem to be surprised by little hairy ball's existence. He didn't mind that he seemed to be green. He asked in puzzlement, Demon Emperor. He came out. The big hairy ball looked into the distance as if he could see through the world and everything. He saw the bright passage of time. Tian-gu didn't come out. The big hairy ball mumbled and looked at the cue ball, then. Should we eat this demon? Although he isn't fragrant enough or old enough, the taste should be good. It was mainly because it was convenient. Even the passage was opened. It wasn't like Tian-gu who didn't come out even if he died. The cue ball drooled and was a little hungry. Alright, then I'll eat a meal first. After that, I'll come back and wait for Tian-gu. He really couldn't forget about Tian-gu. It was too fragrant. The two balls instantly disappeared. In the immortal realm. An old man pinched his fingers and calculated for a moment. He frowned slightly, but soon, he heaved a sigh of relief. My crisis seemed to have dissipated. Damn it, what was going on? I would be in danger. You must be joking. Unless the gods and demons joined forces. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2257. 2257 Chapter 493 Eat You 1. Ancient City. Suyu did not place all his hopes on little hairy ball. Moreover, if big hairy ball really came, others might be able to deal with it, but he himself was very fragrant. He sent Wan Tianxing and Lu Wenyan away and once again returned to the back hall of the city lord's mansion. At this moment, the passageway was very quiet. The stars and moon had not come out. If they came out, they might be able to take the opportunity to kill Suyu. However, there was a high chance that that person had been beaten until he had shut himself up. Now, he did not appear. Sir. Xinghong opened his eyes and looked at this fellow who had the ability to stir up trouble. Suyu said in a deep voice, Sir, if I die, can I turn into a dead spirit? Xinghong pondered for a moment. There is a high probability. What is a high probability? Isn't it a certainty? It's not certain. Xinghong explained, there are some special requirements for turning into a dead spirit. As for the specifics, you will know when you turn into a dead spirit. Nonsense. Suyu ridiculed in his heart, but he quickly said, then, if you turn into a dead spirit, will you be able to retain your living memory? No. Of course, if you reach the eternal realm, you will be able to recover some of it. However, you won't be able to recover all of it. At that time, your past might only be an insignificant part of your memory. Some of you will die completely. You won't even be able to recover your memory, or you won't be able to think that you are the same person anymore. What is the meaning of the existence of the world of the dead? Suyu looked at the stone statue. My lord, the dead and living beings are opposites, right? If I turn into a dead spirit and walk out of the world of the dead one day, will my lord stop me? Xinghong looked at him. Suyu seemed to be a little pessimistic. He was even prepared to turn into a dead spirit. Yes. Xinghong said calmly, the purpose of our lives is to guard the realm of the dead spirit. Unless we die in battle and can no longer guard this realm. Will the realm of the dead spirit come out? The stone statue was silent. Suyu did not ask any more questions. He took a deep breath. He was indeed prepared to turn into a dead spirit. Of course, it might not be possible. He took out a storage ring and said, "Sir, I have something to deposit with you first. I hope that you can pass it to my teacher, Lu Wenyan." Xing Hong said indifferently, "If the flame demons really attack, you won't live, and your teacher won't live either." Su Yu smiled and said, "If Harry Ball's big attack comes, then it probably won't take a fancy to my teacher and the others. Just be prepared." There was nothing he could do. Every time he wanted to crush Harry Ball to death, Su Yu had made such preparations to let the enemy die with him. It was fine now. There was no need to crush Harry Ball to death. It was big. If the half-emperor really came, he might be able to deal with the demon emperor. After all, the demon emperor was not the real one. In Su Yu's judgment, the immortal emperor of the gods and demons was naturally one of the top 3 experts in the 10,000 worlds. The big one of Harry Ball was the half-emperor, but it might not be very strong. It might not even be as strong as the emperor of the dead or the emperor of the dragon. Half-emperor, in the ancient times, was just a title of respect to the leaders of a race. The human race had an emperor, and they were called the emperor of the human race. Below the emperor of the human race, the other races were only half-emperor, which meant that they were half a level lower than the emperor of the human race. Half-emperor did not mean that they were necessarily powerful. Of course, invincibility was basic. Without invincibility, they were not qualified to be called half-emperor. The stone sculpture said calmly, "Now that the holy city is locked down, the other side may not come in. There is no need to do this." The demon emperor could not come in, and so could Harry Ball. Su Yu nodded. He was afraid that this clan would target him. It was very normal. Didn't little Harry Ball stick to him? That was why he could not eat the golden atlas. Otherwise, with little Harry Ball's personality, he would have eaten it in one bite. This clan looked fun, but Su Yu had never treated Harry Ball as a pet because it was a vicious creature. Without saying anything else, Su Yu put down a storage ring and turned around to leave. The moment he left, he reversed the undead once again. Soon, Star Moon appeared in the passage below and said angrily, "He's here again." Xing Hong said indifferently, "He's restricted and has to reverse it. Otherwise, he'll be sucked dry." This time, Su Yu had opened his yang aperture. He had to reverse it. He could only rely on the death aura of Xingyue to maintain it. Otherwise, he could only learn from elder ancestor Bai and meditate in seclusion all year round to cultivate and recover to maintain his yang apertures. "Is it so difficult to open the heavenly aperture?" Xingyue murmured. It was so difficult. How many people in the world could open the heavenly aperture? Xing Hong did not say anything. Xingyue did not recover many memories, so she naturally did not understand. If opening the heavenly aperture was so simple, it would not be so rare in the ancient times. A powerhouse who opened the heavenly aperture. Xing Hong had only heard of it, but he had never really seen one before. Of course, that ancient emperor might have opened one before. However, Xing Hong did not have the right to ask in detail. He did not think about these things anymore. As a guardian, he should not think too much about things other than the rules. Although Su Yu's existence could make him feel more relaxed and allow him to leave the ancient city, he could not break the rules for Su Yu again and again. Previously, he had killed those few people from the end of He and secretly killed them. However, at this moment, everyone in the universe was paying attention. He could not ignore the rules and do something other than the rules. Unless, he could kill them to silence them. At the same time, in the heavenly battlefield, the eastern war zone, the multicolored light reflected off Niu Baidao's body. He had the urge to cry. F***ck. It's been over 400 years, and I've finally attained the Tao. I'm too difficult. Today, he could be considered lucky. First, Xia Longwu killed that invincible man, and then he absorbed the benefits brought by Xia Longwu's abnormal signs. Next, those guys were attracted away by Gu Cheng and Xia Longwu. His luck had finally turned. This time, he had finally succeeded in attaining the Tao. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2258. 2258 Chapter 493 Eat You Too. Unfortunately, there were no abnormal signs. Nothing. Being able to succeed in the Tao was already considered good luck, not to mention that it was the Tao of the heavens. It was already much better than the small world. Niu Baidao was thinking about it when his expression suddenly changed. The next moment, the void trembled, and two things that were like balls disappeared on the spot. "Boss, this is also a little fragrant, why don't you eat it?" "After eating this, the Demon Emperor will know that we are out, and it has a little bit of our young lad's flavor. Is it an acquaintance?" "Oh. Then I won't eat it." The voice was very weak, but as an expert who had just attained the Tao, Niu Baidao still heard it. Large drops of sweat dripped down from his forehead. Holy shit! What was going on? His eyes moved slightly as if he thought of something. He thought of some records, something that happened more than 300 years ago. Damn! Could it be that person? The one in charge? This was a family of two. The aftershock was incomparable. This meant that I was almost eaten. Niu Baidao was also a civilized master, which suited his appetite. Thinking about it, he really was almost eaten. It was too terrifying. Why did this family come out? The Demon Emperor. His heart stirred slightly. The Demon Emperor. These two balls were going to eat the Demon Emperor. Terrifying. Something bad was going to happen. But it was good. If they ate the Demon Emperor, if the Demon Emperor was really eaten, that would be a big deal. Of course, it was good for the human race. Thinking of this, Niu Baidao's eyes flickered. If something happened to the Demon Emperor, it might cause a drastic change in the demon race. Maybe they could even take advantage of it. Outside the ancient city, the sky gradually darkened. The aura on Modwa's body also gradually became stronger. There was actually a gathering of strange phenomena in the surroundings. Those who had broken through under the power of invincibility and had strange phenomena were not ordinary people. This was especially so for Ling Yun, who had broken through mountains and seas. Suyu had not heard much about the human race. It seemed that only when Xia Longwu had broken through had some strange phenomena. Of course, for others who had broken through, because this realm's strange phenomenon was not big, they might not be able to notice it even if they hid and broke through. Suyu stood in the air above the city lord's mansion and looked over. Modwa was about to break through. Once he entered the mountains and seas, his physical body would become stronger and bear more of the Demon Emperor's power. It wouldn't be a problem for him to lure the flame demon back. However, Harry Ball didn't seem to appear. Beside him, Wan Tiansheng and Lu Wenyan appeared once more. Suyu looked at the two of them and said, "Teacher, Mansion Master, find a place to hide." Wan Tiansheng said indifferently, "It's different. If the flame demon really comes, I still have the ability to fight. Hiding and getting killed, that would be too sullen." As he said that, he said, "Are you sure you don't need blue sky to make a move?" "No need." Suyu shook his head. He was the murderer who killed the residents of the ancient city. If he was finished, the flame demon would have no reason to appear again. As for the ancient city, it would be sealed for 3 days. After 3 days, Old Wan and Old Lu would have to fend for themselves. The 10,000 heavenly saints looked at him deeply and did not say anything else. He took Lu Wenyan and disappeared in an instant. As a smart person, he knew Suyu's plan. He did not expose anything. Suyu had been staring at Modwa for a while. Suddenly, he said, "Modwa, we have met quite a number of times. It seems like we have not even fought once. You are number 1 on the heaven roll, and I have also been number 1 on the heaven roll. There has never been a victor. Maudwa Na opened his eyes and looked at Su Yu. It was not the gaze of Maudwa Na, but the gaze of the Devil Emperor. However, very quickly, Maudwa's gaze changed. Compared to the depth and deathly stillness of the Devil Emperor, Maudwa Na's gaze seemed to be more lively. Hearing Su Yu's words, Maudwa Na smiled and said, "If you want to, then escape this calamity. There will be a chance. If you die in the ancient city, the genius that dies will not be a genius." Su Yu smiled and said, "That's true. However, a genius like you doesn't live up to your name. You can't even resist a mere willpower. No matter how strong you are after being modified by others, it will be given to you by others, not by yourself." Maudwa chuckled, "Perhaps. However, you have to understand that sometimes, it isn't you who will have results if you resist. You are also resisting. So what now? This world is like this. The strong prey on the weak. If you want absolute freedom, you are relying on the ancient city, but can you free yourself from the ancient city now?" He had been transformed by the Demon Emperor. Wasn't Su Yu also being restrained by the ancient city? It sounded nice, but it was nothing. Su Yu could reverse the aura of death. But in reality, he was also restricted by others. If he didn't help the stone statue bear the aura of death, would the stone statue help him? If Su Yu didn't have the ability to reverse the death chi, he would have died long ago. Su Yu nodded and smiled. "That's true. So many things have to be fought for by oneself. Maudwa, if I were you, I would slaughter the demons when I have the strength. It's too sad." Maudwa smiled but didn't say anything. Su Yu didn't say much. Maudwa was obviously unwilling. Otherwise, according to the words of the 10,000 heavenly saints, the Demon Emperor could directly transform him and quickly enter the mountain and sea realm. Since he hadn't entered yet, it was clear that this fellow was also fighting. The transformation of the Demon Emperor, including the other emperors, was actually something that wasn't a bad thing. To many people, it was an opportunity, a great opportunity, and an ordinary talent. The half-emperor wouldn't even look at it. Furthermore, if it was transformed, it might become stronger, and there might not be any future troubles. The half-emperor had painstakingly cultivated to that stage. Which one of them wasn't talented and had a powerful fleshly body? The 3 incarnations were incomparably powerful. Unless there was a dead end, who would give up on their 3 incarnations? Therefore, since ancient times, such a thing rarely happened. A certain genius's body was seized. You're tuning into the Han Lee's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2259. 2259 Chapter 493 EQ3. On the other hand, there were many geniuses whose bodies or seas of will had been strengthened by the half-emperor realm. There were also some who had advanced to invincible. Therefore, it was not that Xian Wuji and Zhan Wushuang did not know the situation, but they still chose to accept it and not fight, because this was also a great opportunity. Maudwa did not care anymore, and his aura became stronger and stronger. When one's physical body entered the mountain and sea, it was the same for all races. Aperture synthesis. Under normal circumstances, when it came to soaring into the sky, a warrior would only have 9 apertures, and all of them had been combined. As for the mountain and sea warrior, he would combine all 9 apertures once again. When he combined one aperture, it would be the sun and moon. When it came to the sun and moon, he would strengthen this aperture. From start to finish, a warrior would strengthen his physical body. Be it soaring into the sky to cast his body, Ling Yun's Yuan Qi mutation, or the later stages of the aperture synthesis to strengthen the aperture, all of them were preparing for the Tao. The power of the acupoints was powerful, but the physical body was powerful. a powerful physical body could tear apart the long river of time and space. It could retrieve the past and future. Only by strengthening the physical body could the three bodies become one. Otherwise, if the powerful power of the past and future superimposed on one's body, the physical body would not be strong enough, it would explode. This was the Tao of warriors. As for the Tao of civilized masters, there were not many records on the human side. When it came to the sun and moon, there were records. However, after the sun and moon, there were no records on how to advance to an invincible civilized master. Now, regardless of whether it was a warrior or a civilized master, after reaching the 9th level of the sun and moon, they were all walking the path of a warrior. Suyu did not say anything else. He watched silently as Madhwa advanced to the mountain and sea realm. His physical body was still far away from the mountain and sea realm. In fact, it was not far away either. It was not bad to see how others advanced, especially such a genius. Madhwa's vital energy and blood were extremely powerful. His physical body was also very powerful. Suyu guessed that this fellow's physical body was at least 40 to 50 years old. The quality of his vital energy was also astonishingly high. This was forged by Ling Yun's 9 transformations. It was only at this moment that he could faintly sense how powerful this fellow's acupuncture points were. Suyu seemed to have never seen this fellow use his full strength. From the looks of it, Madhwa's physical body's strength definitely exceeded 300,000 acupuncture points, or even stronger. This time, after successfully advancing to the mountain and sea realm, this fellow's physical body's strength might reach 500,000 acupuncture points or above, officially reaching the level of first-level sun and moon god. Before that, he should be able to kill some small clans. It was still very terrifying. Of course, compared to Suyu, he was much weaker. Suyu was watching, and so were the other unrivaled experts. Each and every one of them was a bit strange. This demon genius was really very strong. They felt that he should be able to fight against the Sun-Moon realm by now. Once he advanced, Zhan Wushuang, Xian Wuji, and the others would most likely not be his match. And those fellows had already reached the 8th or 9th level of the mountain and sea realm. Of course, Zhan Wushuang was still in little Hairy Ball's stomach, so no one had the time to care about him. Many of the invincible ones had died, so who would have the time to care about a genius? Rumble. The void shook, and 2 of the 9 bright and resplendent apertures began to merge together. Gradually, the 2 apertures began to merge. And at this moment, the wind and clouds surged, and demonic chi shook. In the sky, small clouds appeared. There was heaven yuan chi, heaven and earth mystic light. Madonna seemed to be even more of a genius than Xia Longwu. When Xia Longwu advanced to the mountain and sea realm, only some yuan chi seemed to have converged into rain. Of course, Xia Longwu was said to have advanced in the human realm, while Madonna was in the heavenly battlefield, which seemed to favor geniuses more. His physical body was transforming, and the flames between his brows were burning. At the same time, there were faint flashes of lightning in the void, which soon disappeared. At this moment, Xing Hong suddenly appeared by Su Yu's side. Or rather, Su Yu suddenly returned to Xing Hong's side. Xing Hong looked at the void and Madhwa, and slowly said, "He's a pretty good demonic seedling. Do you see that lightning?" "Yes." Su Yu nodded. Xing Hong said, "Just after entering the mountains and seas, lightning appeared. When it reached the sun and moon, it might be even stronger. When it reaches the eternal realm, it might encounter a tribulation of laws. After the tribulation, it will rise to a higher level. It seems like no one has reached this step since ancient times." Su Yu was surprised and quickly said, "Tribulation? Lightning? When I entered the sky, I encountered it. It was even stronger than this. I was struck by lightning once. So, when my physical body enters Ling Yun, I should encounter it again." Xing Hong suddenly shut his mouth. It didn't seem like a good choice to discuss this with a super monster. He might as well chat with Xing Yu. Boring. Su Yu was a boring person. When people talked about this, he would always bring up himself, making people feel powerless to show off. It was as if he was telling a billionaire that this guy was very powerful, earning $10,000 a day. When Maudwa entered the mountains and seas, it was only a weak lightning bolt. However, Su Yu said that he had encountered it when he flew into the sky, and he had even been struck by it. It was probably even stronger than this. Su Yu was actually also a little curious. He asked, "Sir, in the ancient times, was it much more prosperous than now?" He was still a little curious about the ancient times. He was also very curious about the destruction of the ancient times. Where did so many experts go? All of them died. Then how did Xing Hong and the rest survive? Xing Hong said indifferently, "Prosperity, that might not be the case. I can only say that the conditions were good back then, so it was easier to cultivate. I have seen the current human realm. The vitality is weak, but in the past, there would often be too much vitality that would turn into rain and fall. Don't you think it's much easier to start under such conditions?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 2260. 2260 Chapter 493, Eat You 4. Su Yu was speechless. It was so exaggerated. Then why was the ancient times destroyed? Su Yu asked again. Xing Hong was silent for a while before he said, "Don't ask me, why was it destroyed? I only know a few words. At that time, we were already guarding the undead passageway." Su Yu exhaled and said, "So, it wasn't destroyed by the undead? I thought it was the undead that destroyed the ancient times, but it turns out it wasn't." That was indeed what he thought. He had been wondering whether the destruction of the ancient times was related to these dead souls. It was very terrifying. No one knew how many dead soul lords there were. All the dead people could become dead souls. Judging from their tone, Xing Hong and the others had come to guard the ancient times before it was destroyed. "Sir, in the ancient times, who ordered you guards to guard the ancient times? Was it the ancient human emperor? Could he order these people to be the ancient human emperor? Otherwise, these invincible people, even half-emperors, would find it difficult to order them to be the guards willingly." Xing Hong said calmly, "What do you think?" "I think Sir may be the general of the ancient human emperor. Then we are a family." Xing Hong smiled. This guy was too good at pulling connections. How could he be considered a family? "No, we are not the subordinates of the ancient human emperor that you mentioned." Xing Hong said calmly, "Forget it. The past is over. There's no need to talk about this anymore. As for the ancient human emperor that you mentioned, he does exist, but it doesn't mean that he's the only one in the heavens." Su Yu was surprised. Other than the human race, there are other races that have Emperor Gu. Didn't they say that there's only one Emperor Gu? You don't understand. Xing Hong didn't want to talk about this with him anymore and instantly disappeared. Su Yu once again appeared in his original place. At this moment, Maudwa's qi and blood were surging like a tidal wave. Rumbling sounds could be heard as more and more strange phenomena appeared around him. He was about to advance. It wasn't supposed to happen so quickly, but the Demon Emperor's possession still brought him a lot of benefits. If the Demon Emperor didn't want to devour his body, helping him transform his body was actually giving him an opportunity. Rumble. His qi and blood surged and flowed. In the next moment, Maudwa swallowed the phenomena and his aura soared, officially entering the mountain and sea realm. At this moment, the passage of time became even thicker. The Demon Emperor had given him even more power. In an instant, Maudwa's aura changed from mountain and sea to invincible. After he advanced, the Demon Emperor possessed him once again. Maudwa's eyes also changed. He was no longer as lively as before. Clearly, he was no longer Maudwa. The demon emperor possessed him. He smiled, looked into the city, looked at Suyu, and a drop of blood essence appeared in his hand. It slowly began to burn. Maudwa's body trembled, and he once again began to lead the flame demon over. At the same time, in the void, one on the left and one on the right, the two hairy balls did not come together. Instead, they separated and approached the time passage. This passage was connected to the devil world. At the end of the passage was where the devil emperor was. The devil world still had a suppressive force when entering the world. It was different from the human realm. In the devil world, the devil emperor was still very, very strong. In addition, entering the realm would be suppressed. Even if the two hairy balls really entered, they might not be able to do anything to the devil emperor. Once they were suppressed, they might be killed by the devil emperor. However, the two hairy balls ate the divine runes and ate the sea of will. They were all experienced. At this moment, the big hairy ball was approaching the passage while speaking to the mother ball in his mind. Later, I'll go back in time and connect to his time passage. We'll draw him out from the past and the future. Then, we'll start eating. The mother ball also said in her mind, can we draw him out and eat together? Difficult. Eat the past and the future first, then eat the original body. If you can't eat it, then forget it. Okay. The cue ball was very excited and quickly said, then should we eat the past first, or eat the future first? The future is stronger and the past is weaker, but the taste of the past is more fragrant and mellow. The future is a little impetuous. The big hairy ball commented. The taste of the past in the body of the third generation was more mellow. The future, because the future was not the only one, seemed a little flimsy. It actually tasted a little illusory. The taste of the present was actually the best, but unfortunately, the main body usually had a harder time eating it. I understand. Then let's eat the past first, and then the future. The two balls reached an agreement and hid in the void. No one knew, and no one noticed. Even the demon emperor himself did not sense it, because it was not his true body. And just as he was pulling the flame demon, a time tunnel appeared, connecting to the demon emperor's time tunnel. Big hairy ball's eyes were filled with excitement, and he instantly began to rewind time. Who is it? Maudwa roared. At the same time, demonic chi churned in the demon world. The devil emperor's true body suddenly opened his eyes and his expression turned cold. At this moment, a time tunnel followed his time tunnel and actually extended into the devil world. The devil emperor punched out. The time tunnel trembled, but it wasn't destroyed. Come. Fragrant, come out. Backtrack. Near the devil emperor's true body, an extremely powerful suction force instantly caused the devil emperor to tremble. In the next moment, a slightly weaker devil emperor actually flew out through the time tunnel. That was his past body. Someone was looking back at his past. The demon emperor's face turned cold. With a roar, the entire demon emperor palace exploded. The demon emperor's true body stood up and chased out of the time passage. He shouted angrily, "How dare you? Who was it?" He looked toward the end of the passage and seemed to see something. Suddenly, he realized something and shouted angrily, "Demigod Devourer! You're courting death. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories." Chapter 2261. 2261 Chapter 493 Eat You 5. He was not afraid of the other party. Demigod Devourer was strong, but in a real fight, the probability was not as high as his. He was not afraid of this guy. But he did not expect the other party to be bold enough to devour his past and future. Too bold. His past was in front of him, and his future was behind him. He quickly chased after his past. His three bodies threw a punch at the same time. He was also a civilized master, but against Demigod Devourer, civilized master methods were useless. He used the techniques of a warrior. The devouring god race was too arrogant. The three punches shattered the sky and earth. The sky above the demon world seemed to split open. Invincible demons walked out and looked at the sky. Some were terrified, while others didn't care. Who was so bold to attack the demon emperor? The moment Harry Ball made his move, countless people saw a time passage that went through the demon world. It followed the demon emperor's passage and went back to the demon world. It was as if the entire world was going back in time. Demigod Devourer. At this moment, the expressions of some invincible experts around Maudwa changed. Should they attack? If they did, they would offend a demigod emperor. But, if they didn't attack now? Soon, 3 experts of the demon race attacked. There were 3 invincible experts of the demon race in this place. They had to stop them. As for the other races, they didn't attack. This wasn't an ordinary expert. This was a demigod emperor of the ancient race. It was meaningless to offend him. As for the demon emperor, the demon emperor was so powerful that nothing would happen to him. This demigod devourer was too daring. Was he trying to eat the other party? This was a crazy idea. The big hairy ball had already appeared and opened the time tunnel. The white fur on its body turned into circles of time ripples that led the demon emperor here. The big hairy ball was also having a hard time. It was very powerful, but to say that it was definitely more powerful than the demon emperor was an overestimation. However, it was good at time reversal and often did this. Since the demon emperor had opened the time passageway, it did not stand on ceremony. Come, I'm so hungry. Big hairy ball also roared. Quickly come over and let me eat. Meanwhile, the 3 demon kings beside him made a move, but they missed big hairy ball in an instant. It was as if time had gone by and they missed big hairy ball in an instant. In the ancient city, Suyu also saw it. When he saw the huge hairy ball, his heart trembled. Damn! So big. The little hairy ball was as big as a palm. Was this its father? Its father was at least 100 times the size of the little hairy ball. They looked very similar. From the looks of it, they were biological. However, in the next moment, Suyu looked suspiciously at the little hairy ball that had just flown out. Your father seems to have grown hands. Why are you just a ball? At this moment, the big hairy ball suddenly stretched out 2 furry little hands and dragged the time passage. It was extremely strenuous, as if it wanted to drag the demon emperor out of the demon world. And the demon emperor's past body had already flown out of the demon world. The big hairy ball had reversed time and separated his past body. This also made the demon emperor furious. His present body and future body had become one. With a punch, all the worlds in the heavens could see that punch. It was an incomparably huge punch. At this moment, illusory figures appeared in the sky above the underworld, the divine realm, the immortal realm, and the dragon realm. In the immortal realm, the heavenly ancient immortal emperor frowned slightly. The God-Eater race. It was this race that had appeared. In that case, it was this race that had done the deed before, eating away at his willpower. No wonder he felt that it was a bit dangerous. However, a God-Eater half-emperor might not even be a match for a civilized master. It was strange that his heart was palpitating. Just as he was thinking, his expression changed slightly. He suddenly looked at the demon emperor and was about to speak, but he instantly stopped. There was something strange in his eyes. What does it have to do with me? Good thing. The demon emperor was going to suffer this time. Sure enough, just as the demon emperor punched out, big hairy ball squeaked. It was still dragging his past body. Its fur was red, and it was clearly having a hard time. If it was just one ball, it might not be able to do anything to the Demon Emperor. But just as everyone was paying attention to the big hairy ball and the Demon Emperor. At the end of the time passage, on the other side of the demon world, a ball suddenly appeared. It bit down. With a crunching sound, an ear-piercing sound resounded through the world. The cue ball appeared. It went to the other side, and at that moment, it bit off the time passage with one bite. It was overjoyed and shouted, "Boss, you eat from that side, I'll eat from this side." Okay. Crunch crunch crunch. The big hairy ball and the cue ball started to eat from both sides. It seemed like they were going to split the Demon Emperor. The passage of time was quickly cut open. This time, the Demon Emperor's expression finally changed. Not one, but two. How could there be two half-emperor realm experts in the Devouring God clan? Bastard, you're courting death. The Demon Emperor roared angrily. Boom. The time passage exploded. His body trembled and he reached the end. He saw Hairy Ball and threw a punch. Boom. Hairy Ball flew backward and bit down. The Demon Emperor's expression changed. The Demon Emperor didn't say anything and threw countless punches. However, at this moment, a huge mouth came down from the back. Crack. Hairy Ball flew back quickly and bit down too. He said happily, "His real body has come out. Let's eat together." The 3 generations of the Demon Emperor had come out. Let's eat together. The Demon Emperor roared angrily and turned around to punch again. However, it was a pincer attack. The Mother Ball even squeezed into his sea of will. He roared in anger. 2. Damn it, how could there be 2? Divine Emperor, Immortal Emperor. He roared in anger. He seemed to be in trouble. At this moment, the auras of several half-emperors in the other realms began to fluctuate. The ancient Immortal Emperor shouted, "How dare the God-devouring race! Retreat quickly!